welcome, Internet?
Somebody?
Maybe?
We hope. I wonder if I should record this.
I mean, I see us on Twitch, so I'm assuming it's working there.
Where I see us on YouTube.
So yeah, I guess we're go. We're go after 10 tries and
We'll do it
technical
live.
difficulties and Jesus.
It's like 45 minutes later, man.
Yeah.
I think what we did is right when we were about to start the show, I think Streamlabs pushed an update because suddenly I couldn't log in. I was getting 500 errors. I saw code, and we had to reconfigure all of our destinations, and so it all hell broke loose, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure
so
did.
if this podcast releases to the wild, just know that there was an opportunity there. We could have just quit.
Yeah. Just thrown it all away.
My fallback plan was I was going to record a Discord call and just capture the audio that way. But I think we're back online, so that's good. We don't pay hundreds of dollars for this or anything.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, we're here. We brought along Nathan, aka Spider Jedi, all the way from Chicago.
Hello, how are you guys?
And headphones. Look at you.
Man, he's all propped up like in his penthouse and stuff.
You need a beer, maybe a cigar.
His arm up.
I got my little bottle of water right here.
No. You need like a martini. You need some bourbon, something. There should be something else going on there.
So I did have my fair share of bourbon earlier, and a Korean old fashioned, which was interesting. So now I'm just trying to make sure I'm hydrated properly. That's where we're at.
Say more about this Korean old fashioned. What is that?
So I was trying to figure out what to do for dinner, and there's this place just across the street. It was like a noodles place, like a dim sum, and what's the word I'm looking for? Ramen. That's the place. Yeah,
ramen.
And so they had this like a Korean old fashioned, which I was like, okay, what's this? It had yuzu, and it had plum syrup. And I would not necessarily get it again because it was a bit sweet for me.
The Switch emulator.
Possibly.
Poured that in the cup.
That's probably the bitterness that I tasted from like the Switch, the cartridge. But no, overall, I mean, it was fine, but I wouldn't necessarily want it again. It wasn't my typical old fashioned as far as it was still sweet for me. And they used like a Kavalan whiskey, which wasn't quite as potent as the typical bourbons I do, but it was good. I mean, when there's bourbon, there's no complaining. To be honest, let's be honest. It's whiskey.
There can be some complaining. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, there
can always be some complaining,
but it depends how late in the night it is.
That is also true. Well, oddly enough, you're on internet that is being provided by a hotel, and you still have better connection than Delvin does. So, go you.
It's true.
Yeah, Delvin's still gone. He'll be gone until he's not. So just send that man some good vibes and some love. He'll be back. He's not ghosting us like previous members. He'll be back.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely be back. I thought he was gonna be back this weekend, and then after some update, I was like, not this weekend. Probably the weekend after this weekend.
Maybe
if I had to guess. Yeah.
So, but yeah. Nate, you're a guest, kinda, sorta. What the hell you been up to?
Remind people who you are.
Yeah, like who are you? Why are you here?
You're like 150 episodes ago. I don't think anybody knows you anymore.
How long? It's been probably one of the last episodes I was on was an Empire episode. So back in the day,
it was a long time ago.
Back a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I met Donnie on Marriage to the Game server, like a message board, and he was starting up this little thing called Play Some Video Games blog, and I wanted to help out. At that point, I was podcasting on my own, being like, hey, I do this entertainment podcast, so I knew a thing or two about podcasting, but Donnie knows way more than I ever did now. And I jumped in, and I think who was it? Was it you, me, Kevin, and then Kyle was on text on the first one that we did, and then we kind of went from there. Was it 2016, 2017?
No, 16 maybe. Yeah, I think we officially started PSVG in 15, and then the podcast started releasing to the public. I think in January of 2016.
Yeah, that's
Even though like
right.
we recorded a couple before that, because we recorded like 4, I think, before we even started.
Before we actually started putting them out.
Those are lost to the archives. They're gone.
And they were terrible.
The lost
they were
episodes.
awful. They were awful. Yeah,
like
you were in
tapes.
the OG. You were in the first 9 or first 5 or whatever we want to call it. You were in the first wave. Dev was too.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I came later.
Did you?
Yeah, I was later in 2016
Well, like
when you
much
sent
later,
out another
right?
call for Hap. Not terribly, not that much later, but it was definitely like later on after you guys.
So I think
kind
you
of
reached out
established
to
the
me.
cadence.
I think you were
No.
like, "Hey, can I come? Can I come
You
do
put
this?"
out a tweet asking if you wanted like for help. Anybody else wanted to join, and I was like, yes,
mine.
because I like talking trash to you on the message boards.
on the message boards.
Born
We
a
should
Buckeye.
have called ourselves. We could have renamed our entire
Born a
thing.
Buckeye, that's
Ourselves
right.
like Married to the Games 2,
right.
like the Married to the Games, a sequel.
Did I actually like Nintendo?
We're very much like MTGG After Dark. It was very much like our thing for a minute.
Yeah. As John 32 says, it was back when Xbox was first party. That is accurate. So I was always
not been said.
I was always an Xbox guy back in the day. Like ever since they came out, I was always kind of drawn to that platform. But anymore, I'm kind of doing PC, Xbox ish. But I still got the PS5 and the Switch and everything. But yeah, back in the day, we started the Xbox.
You're
Yeah,
one of our superhero bros. You're like with
That's
Bill
right.
and Dev. Yeah,
I get my Spider-Man on. But Xbox Empire, we did that originally, me and Donnie.
not we, you. That was your show. You did that originally,
wasn't it? But weren't you my guy, like the co-host?
No, you recorded this by yourself with other people. I guessed it, but it was your show for I don't know how many episodes. I want to say like 30 or so. And the problem was, that you kept like losing hosts. Like you couldn't get folks regularly. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'll do it.
That's right.
The Donnie motto.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember.
Like,
I know it was like Lobo for a while, maybe Josh, but I remember I just remember you struggling to keep current, like to keep regular. And that's a no on my part. Like we don't do that here. You know,
You gotta
like,
do this every week or don't do it at all, David.
Well, I mean, it's like I don't care if it's monthly. It's like who cares? They're almost like one-offs. They're like, pay-per-views. They're like special shows. They can release them whenever you want. But if you're gonna do a weekly show, then do it weekly. Don't do it weekly for like 3 weeks and then like miss 2 weeks and then do it a week later and then miss 3 weeks, and that's not cool. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, and that was kind of the problem, was the consistency and everything. And my schedule started getting crazy, and then you took it over with other hosts after that. Was it Kevin?
Kevin.
But it used to be called the State of the Xbox Empire. Remember that? It was back in the day.
But I had to kill that off when I took over.
Donnie rebranded that real quick. Like, all right, I'm taking over. It's
too long. It's just too much. Yeah, it's too much.
The Xbox Empire is no longer an empire. I think it's more like an island floating somewhere.
Like, have we all went the opposite way? Do we redo it? The Nintendo Empire and the Xbox Shack. How the turntables have turned. That just gives you an idea of where everything was when we started and how long ago this was.
Man, when we originally started this, I didn't have any kids. I just thought about that. That's crazy.
Dude, when we I posted a photo the other day of my kids when we like unboxed the Switch. They are kids, like children, like toddlers. They are children. They are driving now. They're leaving. They're going to college. Like they're adults now. They're humans.
Yeah. Mine was a kindergartner and a 1-year-old when we started. Now I've got a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about like all this. I mean,
we're old. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that we're getting older, and I definitely feel like old for video games. Like, and I feel like all of a sudden, like I didn't feel like this, and then I just suddenly did. I think it was when people this year, feel like this year people are starting to be like, well, Gen Z's not doing this and Gen Z's not doing that, and how are they going to? I was like, wait a minute, like why does anybody care? They're like, they're the ones that have to pay for it. I'm like, oh no,
we got to rely on them. We're screwed. Because they ain't paying for nothing.
But yeah, it is. It both feels like forever long ago, like a different time. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, like not that. Like I don't feel like we've been doing.
It feels like it was yesterday.
Long.
Right.
But when I look back at like pictures or old videos or anything like that was a different. I mean, eras like it's not even like it feels. It's like almost nostalgic, like a distant memory to go back and think about like what it was like at the Wii U and the Xbox One and 3DS days. You know,
My hair was short. Now it's ridiculous.
I
actually
was
had more
much skinnier. Nathan wasn't. Nathan was much bigger.
Yes.
It's all changed.
It's all changed. So yeah. Welcome back.
Life goes on.
Well, thanks, guys. It's good to be here.
Happy to have you. Happy to have you. Donnie, I've been playing Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
addiction
new trailer thing.
oh my god, the new trailer came out and has definitely grabbed a hold of me. The addiction is firmly set in. So there was a thing to get all of these new weapons that were released. It was called the Brave Collection. It's a kind of like a reprisal of a lot of the greatest hits over the entirety of Destiny 2. Like there's weapons from like every season. I think there's maybe 12 of them. And then there's a bunch of you gotta rank up with this guy named Shax, and you get this shader that's called Super Black by doing all these quests. Doing all these quests and ranking up. I did it in like 3 days. It usually takes a lot longer than that. And I was like, I got to get this Super Black shader. I need to get all these weapons. And I just dove headfirst in and leveled all the way up to rank 17 with Shax. Got all these weapons and have my Super Black shader. And I have firmly eaten all the hype and have dove headfirst back into Destiny. And I'm absolutely loving it. I didn't realize how much I missed it. And really excited for Final Shape next week. Took the day off.
I thought this was the
Final day off for Destiny in a while. This is coming out.
This is the prep.
Yeah, this is all the prep work for the Final Shape, which launches Tuesday. So I took Tuesday off.
What kind of shape do you think it's going to be?
Father's Day gift.
Like a triangle or
triangles, squares, rectangles,
Octagon.
all of the above, everything and nothing.
Trapezoid? That'd be nuts.
Yeah, it's insane.
You lost me when you said greatest hits for Destiny 2. So, like, I don't know what a greatest hit with Destiny 2 would be.
Weapons. So like Midnight Coupe.
Okay.
It's a hand cannon that was just absolutely phenomenal. So they brought it back. There's a weapon called the Mountaintop, which is like a handheld missile launcher. They brought that back. There's a gun called the Recluse, which is a submachine gun that was just running rampant and like really fucking people over in PvP. It was like overpowered. So these are all the
they're like breaking the game. Like this is
overpowered guns that broke the game in some way, shape, or form. They brought them all back. They also sunsetting. Yeah, no nerfs. And they sunsetting. So it used to be like at a certain point, weapons could no longer be upgraded or brought forward. They got rid of that. So if you were lucky enough to have weapons from like the start of the game, you can now use those weapons again, level them up to whatever the max level is once Final Shape goes live, and now you have even more weapons. So that was a big thing. People used to get really upset when they do all this grinding to get this awesome gun, and now it's irrelevant because you can't level it past whatever the level cap is. So they undid that, and now everything is viable again. So it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a real fun time next week. All the hype around the game, everybody, all the Destiny YouTubers and people who create content are all like, this is it. They had a summit this last week where they brought a bunch of people out to kind of test it to make sure it was on the right track. Nothing but praise so far. So me and Barrett are very hype. We will be playing a lot of Destiny over the summertime. It's perfect for a summertime game. Like I feel like Destiny over the summer is just a great time. So really, really excited and itching to get back into it and see where the story goes. So
yeah, interested in hearing the story and how this game that has lasted for so long,
10 years,
closes.
It's not even closing. It's just ending the light and darkness chapter. There's still more Destiny coming. This is not the end of the game.
So there'll be just a new universe or something.
Yeah, this is the end of this particular saga. There's still something afterwards, and they said that
they have like a Fortnite thing where they just like have an event and change all the maps and everything.
No, they've never done that. They add maps. Certain maps got taken over by the darkness that were no longer available. Stuff like that. But for the most part, the main core of the world has always existed. and they said that once the raid has been completed, then you'll have a much better understanding of what's going to happen next. And then after the raid, they're going to have episodes. So like every, I think 3 months, there's going to be a new episode with new story content and stuff like that, delved out over the year until we find out whatever the hell the next expansion is, whether it's Destiny 3 or wherever the hell we go. But all of that'll be revealed sometime next week.
I mean,
Are the wizards still coming from the moon?
The wizards came from the moon, but now they're just everywhere. Yeah. In fact,
I would expect them to take some time off at some point, and Destiny just kind of be stagnant for a little bit. Like you can still play it and stuff, but it's like just there.
I mean, there's always a dead season. There's always some time where like there's
they got I mean, they're making marathons. They're about to launch another one of these. So like they
different
got
team.
Yeah, but you can't have like the whole team was supporting Destiny for years, and now there's a different team working on Marathon, and they've had layoffs. You can't expect the same output as before.
The size of the layoffs that they have compared to the size of the people that they hired for Marathon is minuscule in comparison. So like they had a huge hiring, even though I think they got rid of like 100 people, but what they hired on before that was much larger. So they've got a whole different team who's been building Marathon and working on that. And you have it's two separate teams. There's a whole different game director for Marathon and a different game director for Destiny. So I don't expect them to take too much time off in between. I think they'll still be working on Destiny while they're working on Marathon.
We'll see. Another 10 years.
Yeah, let's go. I'm here for it. My kids will be 20, 23.
I think the last time I was on the show, we were talking about Destiny, by the way.
Of course. We've been doing it since Dev joined the show. We've been talking about Destiny.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Because
you don't have to podcast with him every week. I've been here for like 9 months, but it's the only thing he's talked about Destiny.
There are those seasons.
He didn't play a whole lot else, man.
Yeah. Nothing was as good. Nothing called to me the same way.
Back when me and Donnie were podcasting, I was always just playing Apex, and he got tired of that too.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see all the buzz this week and the videos and things? These games are killing gaming. They're killing all the games that we like.
They're not killing the games I like. All the games I like are still coming. They're killing the games you like. I'm here for me. That's it. And that's all.
You like these games. You like these single player super games, and they're killing these.
They're not.
These games are having a hard time filling them, but we're not getting as many as we used to, and that's the point.
That's okay because I don't have as much time. So this is a net win for me. This is all the net win for me.
Wow.
So yeah, enough about Destiny. Donnie, what you been up to?
I'm not. I'm sick, man. So I'm not
over here dying.
I'm not playing much. Yeah, I the wife and kids got sick over the weekend over Memorial Day, and then yesterday was like the day I went to work, and I told everybody where I feel terrible. I really do. I feel bad. We don't do as much work from home anymore, right? And the new boss hates work from home because he's boomer. So I woke up and I messaged the team and I was like, hey, everybody in my family's sick. And it's not bad, by the way. It's my wife was negative for flu and COVID. So it's some viral respiratory something or another. And I told the team, I was like, hey, I'm going to go to my office just for your safety. Like, I'm just going to sit in my office most of the day. And I would suggest you isolate from me because my whole family's sick. And I felt fine, as typically is the case. I felt fine. I got there and I was working. And around noon, I started to not feel so fine. And then around 5, I was like, oh, I'm sick. This is happening. Here it is. And then I had to call my supervisor and I was like, yo, I'm not feeling good. This is not going to work. I have to take day off. And then the sad part is tomorrow, there's this big exercise I'm supposed to go to. And it's kind of my thing. And I can't. I'm sick. I'm coughing. And it took everything for me. I took a bath with the salts and took I've got the Claritin stuff or whatever this is that my wife gave me and the ibuprofen. And I was clearing my throat and my nose and everything just to do this podcast. And the more I talk, the more I cough. So, yeah, I haven't been playing much, man. I did go see Furiosa in theaters this week. Check off another one of my theater trips. Yeah, apparently that's the buzz, is it's not doing very well or it's not doing as well as they thought maybe it would. I don't know. Because I don't follow the movie industry. I don't know if it's that the movie isn't doing well or that it's just everything I keep seeing headline wise. Not that I care enough to click it and read. So it just shows my interests. But it seems like people are just really down on it for being Memorial Day. Like that seems to be a part of the story. Like the ticket goers are down for it's like the lowest Memorial Day weekend in like 10 years.
So that's what it's been saying. Well, it's more than 10 years. It was like the lowest Memorial Day weekend since like maybe like the last 15 years, something like that.
So I don't know how much the fault is. Like, is that Furiosa's fault or is that just
no? I don't think it's
or
that.
Is it just the state of the movie theaters?
I think it's either it's A, the state of the movie theaters, B, Furiosa really wasn't advertised very much. There wasn't a lot of people going to the movies overall over Memorial Day weekend from what I saw for the ticket returns. But the other thing is like in my area,
forgot
like
to
the
mention
weather was
Nathan used to be our movie guy. He's done this for a long time.
But that's in my area, that is right. That used to be entertaining. The weather was fantastic and amazing, and nobody would want to be inside a movie theater anyway. Like during Memorial Day weekend,
that's hilarious. I walked outside and was like, the weather is great. Let's go to the movie.
Really?
All I say, Furiosa, there was my theater was half full, which is probably more full than I've been in the theater in some time, actually. There was more people there with me at Furiosa than when we went to go see Dune. And it was okay. It wasn't an amazing movie or anything. It was definitely not Fury Road. I liked it. I thought it was good, but it's not. I wouldn't encourage you to like leave your seat and rush out to go see Furiosa.
How was Chris Hemsworth in it?
He was great. It's really his movie.
Yeah.
Like he's the color. He's the character. Like he adds a lot of the entertainment. You know, it's kind of like how Momoa is in like Fast X. He's very similar. He's just very entertaining on screen. You know, like the movies. Our heroine Anya Taylor-Joy, she's just not in the movie a whole lot. She's not in the movie for like the first half of the movie, so you just don't see her. Now she's, you know, it's cool and it's good and it does feel like Mad Max. And there are some, I mean, if you're into like action shots, there are some awesome action shots. Like, of course, it's a Mad Max movie, but like, you know, as like a movie, plot development, character development, all that, it's all right.
One day I'll have to watch these movies. I haven't seen Mad Max or this, so yeah.
Any of them, even the old ones?
I've seen no. I've never seen any of them.
You haven't seen Tina Turner and Thunderdome?
Yeah.
I feel like I may have seen that. Like I feel like my parent, like I have a memory of coming home from a theater and singing the "We Don't Need Another Hero" song, and I remember Tina Turner and the Thunderdome. So I feel like my parents took me to see, but I was like 2, 3, so I don't really quite.
Well, Fury Road is a lot of fun. That's a really good action flick and good movie. That's a good one.
It's got some great memes.
And this is like a weird prequel tie-in sort of thing, but without the main characters, without Max. Even though I think there's like I'm no Mad Max aficionado, but there is like the Falcon on a cliff, and I was like, so that's Max. Like they do have like a shadowy like cameo, I think. But it was okay. So that's all I've been doing. I am playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, which I did get a chance on after Shaq to sit down and really play it. And I got 3 or 4 hours into it. And my wife and I have really been fighting over the Switch this week, especially because she's sick. So all she wants to do is play Animal Crossing.
You don't have multiple Switches anymore?
So we downgraded one Switch to get ready for the cousins and the in-laws. We're going to pass one down, which is Jack's Switch, because he just wasn't playing it very much. So like that's completely wiped. I could turn it on and put stuff on it for her, but like, you know, it's all set up and ready to go to the in-laws. I mean, to the nieces and nephews. I have another Switch. It's my No More Heroes Switch.
Right.
It's completely customized and tailored. I'm not letting her play that. I don't want her.
No. Why wouldn't you play that with just some different Joy-Cons and give her the other one and then problem solved?
Because the other one's OLED, and I want to play Paper Mario on the OLED one. Because it's my damn Switch. Why am I even arguing with them? Why am I even entertaining this?
I was just confused. I thought you had
That's
multiple
why, Dad,
Switches.
because it's my Switch. Because this is encroachment.
Like, here you
I do.
go, wife.
They're
Here's
all
another
mine.
one.
They're all my Switches. That's mine. That's mine. You know, like it's all mine. No, I'm letting her play it. So she's been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. But Paper Mario's great. It's like just like it was in GameCube, and it's a fantastic game. If you've never played it, it's amazing.
I'll never know. It's not for me.
As Rebecca reminds me, it's a lot of people's favorite Mario games. I'd be wrong, but
What?
it is a lot. Oh, Thousand Year Door is kind of legendary. People love the shit out of this game. I
Does
100%
it really even a
believe
Mario game? Does it count?
No, because it's an RPG.
Exactly.
It's turn-based.
That shit
game.
out of here. Get out of here.
But I mean, it is Mario. It's Paper Mario, and they got really cool puzzles and dungeons and stuff, and it's fun to battle. The thing with Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is the writing. The writing was very, like, I don't know, in vogue. I would say edgy, but it's not necessarily it's edgy writing. It was just like very current for the time. It's very not Nintendo, is more or less, I think, the bigger point. You know, it very like kind of tapped into the experience during the GameCube time. And Nintendo doesn't really do that. And they haven't really done it since a whole lot. There's a lot of like puns and things like that. There's a trans character, which I think is floating around, you know, Twitter and threads and stuff and Reddit, which that was there before. So there's stuff like that.
This is from the GameCube.
Yeah. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door from the GameCube. There's secrets and stuff. They've remastered. They've remade it all in Paper Mario Engine, and it's beautiful. And yeah, it's great. As John 32 says, the writing is S tier, and I think he's right. In that regard, it might be one of Nintendo's best.
Cool.
That's it.
Well, enough of that. Let's get into the news. You want me to take it, Donnie, so you can stop coughing?
Yeah, if you want, I'm happy
Sure.
to. If not, I mean, I can get through it.
We can jump around. I'll take this PlayStation part real quick.
Okay.
So, the State of Play returns tomorrow at noon. Is that noon your time, which means like 9 a.m. my time? Or 8 a.m.?
Of course, everything is my time.
Fucking 8 a.m. It's a 30-minute show, going to be 14 PS5 and VR2 games, including PlayStation Studio titles coming this year. So get excited. Apparently there's going to be an Astrobot game that's all the rave. Everybody's excited. In fact, our very own Donnie Eat the Hype Reese ate the hype and bought a PlayStation.
Damn right I did.
What?
And games. Yeah.
Wait.
He couldn't even wait for the show to make sure there were going to be an Astrobot game. He said,
I know.
I'm
Watch
being
it be-
reckless.
Watch it be a VR game. But no, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Jeff Grubb. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Astrobot.
he bought a PlayStation.
Astrobot has me.
He's back amongst us. I
So,
don't know that I like
It's been a long time.
but why? Though,
The seasons are blowing.
don't you have like a PC these days?
I have a very good one.
Astrobot ain't
Yep.
coming to that PC.
Can't play Stellar Blade on it.
That's not yet. Yeah, that's true.
Not yet. I didn't want to wait anymore.
So
Okay,
did you buy it just to play it right now? Is that the main
I will
driver?
explain. I mean, I thought we'd get to the news and then talk about it, but I'm happy to explain.
No, we're jumping into this right now.
Okay, I'm happy to explain myself if you want to hear it.
Explain yourself, Donnie.
It's mostly that since it was announced, I've liked the slim model quite a bit. And I remember when everybody was kind of dogging on it. I've always kind of dug the look for it. So I've always kind of kept an eye on it, but it, you know, like you said, I have a PC and an Xbox, and it's expensive. It's been $500.
Mm-hmm.
So for their days of play sale, like they cut the price. They dropped it $50. So that's really nice on the digital model. Or they've cut $50 on all the models, but I'm one of the digital model. But then they threw in this sweetener, and that's really what set me over. If you bought it, you get a free year of Netflix Premium. I already have Netflix Premium. Like, we already pay for that every month. So that's money saved. That's like $200 saved
That's
just
like $18
by
a
buying
month,
this.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
$22 a month.
22,
is what
yeah.
I pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4K and
That's
4 streams.
real
22
money.
bucks.
Yeah, like I was like, that's real money. So I was like, all right, I can get the PlayStation console for, I forget, was it $350, and I get a year of Netflix, which is like $200. Like, that's pretty sweet.
It's a net win.
Yeah, I mean that's a decent thing, and what really set me over was because I've been doing my homework for some time. Like, I've been looking at the used market and stuff. And the used PlayStation 5 Slims used are $400, $425, you know. So this is way better than even the used market can present. And then Haley was like, you can be my game sharing partner. So hopefully I won't have to buy a whole lot of games. Now I say hopefully because I found out today Haley also isn't buying lots of games. Like I need Haley to step it up over there. I need to find.
So how many games did you buy today, Donnie?
I bought Gran Turismo and Stellar Blade. So yeah.
And soon to buy Astro.
Why Gran
as soon as it's
Turismo?
announced.
Just because. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't like Gran Turismo?
No, it's fine. I mean, it's a great card game. It's just
You don't
I didn't think.
Forza. Like
I didn't think that
Motorsport,
you
so-
enjoyed like the simulator types.
Just want to try it on sale. It
Yeah,
cost me
that's
just
fine.
$30. I had money to spend, so
Yep. Just
I didn't
toss-
dip into
toss-
my
toss
Switch
that
fund
Sony
for
your
this.
money. It's all good.
I still have my Switch money. I got me some faceplates. So
Of course.
faceplates, man, faceplates. I've been trying to say this since this thing was announced. Faceplates. Now the question is, where the hell am I going to put it? I don't know where to put it.
You're gonna put it at your desk where it belongs.
I think about it. I might set it right near next to the PC and put it there.
Yeah.
But I don't think Jack would like. Jack would probably rather be upstairs.
Look,
I
Jack.
could wire it to the
use
console.
Use
I
the
don't know.
Steam
We'll see.
Deck and remote play. You get out of here, Jack. This is your PlayStation.
No, he's going to be getting one of those portals, and that'll be Jack's way to play.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
The Sony Empire appreciates your purchase.
No, you don't. I want to hear
The
none of
Sony
that.
Dynasty.
Dev
I
was
didn't
hating
say
this
I
all
did.
day.
I
Dev was
said the
hating this
Sony
constantly,
Empire.
all
not
day.
me.
He said, Nathan,
I don't want
I
you in my
wish
team.
Sony
You
had a
know
way
that.
to block you from being able to purchase one.
Absolutely. You're gonna sell it in 6 months.
I might. You
You're
never
gonna
know.
pull a Rob 3000.
I might. Yep. I'm not gonna shy away from that, but I feel like it's Astrobot. If they're making a big single player Astrobot game, like I want to play it. I love Astrobot.
What if it's
So
not
if-
a big single player Astrobot? It's still like a little mini.
I don't know if it's as good as the Astrobot demo on PlayStation 5. That'd be great. I still think is one of my. I had a PlayStation for a very short while, and I didn't play Returnal, and I haven't played Ragnarok. But of the things that I did play on PlayStation 5 and the ports that I've played on PC, that Astrobot demo is still my favorite thing that I've played on PlayStation 5.
Jesus
Today.
Christ.
It's great. It
And
really
this
is
is why I
great.
don't want. This is why
Oh, sorry, I don't just fall
Ghost
over
of Tsushima is
Spider-Man.
out here, and you're just
That's a PlayStation 4
Astrobot.
game.
Astro.
No, that's a PC game, Donnie.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, it's still a PlayStation 4 game. I played that before the PlayStation 5 ever came out.
But the Astrobot is nice because like it is a nice showcase, especially for the controller and everything. It's a nice little walk down memory lane for the
Yeah.
Sony, consoles.
It's got the cool music and stuff. I love Astrobot, so I
People
definitely want to
still
do
do
that.
this.
I've wanted to play Stellar Blade. Like I've had a handful of titles that I would really like to play. So
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Stellar Blade. I'm very curious.
well, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I get free Netflix for a year, and I save some money, and I get some extra games. Jack gets to play Spider-Man. I don't have to play Spider-Man because Haley already has it. Haley does have a lot of I get to play Ragnarok. I don't have to buy it when it comes to PC because Haley already has it. So yeah, I don't expect that I'll play it a bunch, but I think I might be in a nice situation where it'd be nice to have. And
He's gonna
it's
have
not.
it for 6 months. He's gonna upgrade to the Pro. Have that for 6 more months.
I'm not getting the Pro, and it's not going to be as enormous as the one that I had before. It's the new one. The new model is much better. So
It's still pretty
It's
sizable,
still
right?
pretty
though?
big. It's still
it's
pretty
more. It's really this. It's
big.
more
It's a
like
little
the X.
shorter, a little less.
It's more
fat.
like the Series X, Nathan. It's slimmer, but it's like 2 inches taller than the Series X. But it's like a third of it width wise, right?
Yeah.
So it's not. It's much smaller than we've already
A
been down this
third?
road. It's much smaller than the original
third?
PlayStation 5.
Is it like the
Yeah, because
Xbox One X?
It's a
size?
thinner console versus the Series X, man. I'm sorry.
Is it like the Xbox One X size?
Probably. Yeah, I would probably say something like that. That's probably where it's at.
Okay.
And the side by sides don't really do it justice. You can look at a video of somebody handle one of those. They could pick up a PS5 Slim like with one hand. That's no problem. It's not like it's unwieldy, and so it's not as big. The damn spire of power that Dev loves.
It's really not that
it
much
is.
smaller.
You've tried this before. We've been over it. We've done it. It is.
Yeah, I've seen them both in person.
Smaller.
It's not significant.
It's significantly
but you keep
smaller.
telling yourself that to make you feel better about
I'm not.
the size of it.
I'm not. It just is. It is what it is. It's significantly smaller.
It's not.
It's like the big one is like the OG one. It looks like it's like 8 the Slim. Is what it is.
No.
If you put them next to each other, Nathan, the Slim silhouette sits inside of the regular PS5 by some margin around all sides. Yeah, I've got pictures. God damn it! I'll pull up a
That's
picture.
fine. I've seen them both live. I've seen them in person.
He's got receipts, Dev. He's got
really
receipts.
It's really not that much smaller.
Can't
I
believe
was just looking at it. I've seen pictures. It's fine. It's just not that much smaller. You just really want it to be, but it's still.
I think you want me to want it to be. I'm not.
It won't fit in your cubby.
If it wasn't, I'd tell you it wasn't, but it is.
It's not. It's okay. It's okay that you want this thing to be this little small, slim device, and it's not. It's okay. It's okay. I'm happy that you're happy. Kind of.
There you go, Nathan.
This shit is still big.
It's not.
It's still so big.
I don't know if I can make the. I can't make the image bigger. I don't think.
Probably not.
Because of my screen.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like it's smaller than the OG.
That's and like this is a side by side.
Definitely smaller.
Yeah, like listen to me. This is a side by side, right? So this might be its most unflattering comparison, because essentially you're looking at it and you go, well, it's like what 2 inches shorter than the other one, but you're not missing like the
it's
heft
more like an inch
and the width.
It's like the PS5 has been at the gym for the last year.
Yeah, it's significantly smaller.
It's really not that much bigger or much smaller. And the thing is, you're also thinking about the disk drive. So if you have the disk drive version going to the non-disk drive
I don't
version,
have the disk drive.
You lose a little chub. You lose the beer belly. But it's not that much smaller.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing the pregnant panels. That's absurd.
Lord Snurch, that's what she said.
Yep. You getting a PSVR 2? Yeah? Gonna go ahead and bite that bite that too? Getting the PSVR 2?
There you go, Nathan. See, like it sits inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Was the point I was trying to make? It's like this is the Slim, and like here's the OG, and how big comes all the way around it. Like, look at this thing. Look at this thing.
That's a good show right there. Like,
isn't it?
Difference.
That's significantly smaller.
It's not significant.
It is.
It is not.
I think you are assuming size is just height.
It's not just the height.
Look at
it's just
this.
not. So first of all, you're comparing the disc model.
I
to
know,
the no
but
disc
look
model.
at it. Just it's not. You're
It's
missing the point.
Not that much
It's the
smaller.
width, the breadth of the thing. Look at this thing.
It's not that much smaller. It's not that much smaller. It's really not.
Lord Snurts gets it.
Yeah, I think he's talking about something else, but
anyway, it's significantly smaller.
It's not significant. It's smaller. I'll just say that. It's not significant.
It's definitely smaller.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I guess in PlayStation VR, there's some adapter that's been leaked to work for PC. So maybe Delvin to get some use out of his PSVR 2. I doubt it.
He said that. He was like, maybe I'll use it now. I was like, you don't have a PC that can play VR stuff.
Exactly. He's got that laptop.
What are we talking about? Like, that made no sense to me. I saw that earlier. I just wasn't feeling good enough to fight him about it.
Yeah, no. And we have our first question. Nick says, what do you hope to see from the State of Play tomorrow? Personally, I hope to see Astrobot for VR, not the PlayStation, just to piss everybody off, personally. Other than that, I don't really care. I'm not really
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. The Spire says that's still a thing.
No, yeah, they say it's still alive. There's a pulse.
Yeah, I don't expect to see that at all. Anything you're hoping to see besides
that new
Astrobot?
Star Wars game, Nathan?
What was that?
The Switch? Are you going to play the new Star Wars game?
On the Switch? What's it called?
Play Hunters?
Oh, isn't that like the card game? Like based on a card game or something?
It's some sort of action live service fighter shooter game.
I'll probably check it out.
It's from Zynga.
Zynga. That's a name I haven't heard in some time.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Outlaws, though.
Okay, tomorrow we expect we'll get a bunch of 14 games, right? Some of them are going to be VR games. I expect one of those VR games. Did that Metro game ever come out for PSVR?
There's a Metro game?
They showed off a Metro game for VR that looked pretty cool back when they showed.
I
think a lot of the
definitely
games tomorrow will be games. I would imagine a lot of them are games that we've already seen before, like that we're just getting dates for, maybe, which would be nice. When it comes for what do I want from it, obviously Astrobot. Like I want to see an awesome Astrobot game, which all the rumors suggest is happening. So that would be great. There's also rumors that there's Horizon stuff in the works somewhere. We're expecting a Horizon remaster to be released. And then there is a trademark and a trailer and assets that have leaked for a Horizon Lego something. I don't know if we're going to get both of those tomorrow or either. I don't know. It depends on how far away those are. I'm today, I'm assuming we're not going to see the PS5 Pro tomorrow. And if that's the case, then they could hold something like that for that to show off the PS5 Pro. So, but if, I don't want to say if, because it seems like all but certain, a Lego Horizon game sounds awesome. But I want to put a caveat in that. When we heard a Horizon Lego, I think we all thought like what we would imagine that to be. And my question that I thought of this the other day, I was listening to Board Video Games, they were talking about for a minute, and I was like, what if it's multiplayer though? What if it's like a live service thing? And I only say that because of like the Lego Fortnite thing that they did. And like the Lego 2K. That's like they've been kind of doing that recently. I don't want that. But that might be what we're getting. Like it might be some sort of play with your friends. Some co-op Lego Horizon game, like rebuild the world or some shit. I hope that's not what it is, but
the only Horizon thing we need is 3. Give us Horizon 3 and then wait and do the Lego trilogy. That's what you do with Lego games. Just do the trilogy. Do all.
Have they done DLC for 2 yet?
Yes. Came out last April.
Yep. Haley, do you have the DLC for Forbidden West? Let's see here.
It'd be great if they show a Call of Duty trailer, since PlayStation has owned the marketing for it. So if they had the reveal trailer tomorrow for Call of Duty, that would be awesome. I want to see that.
The way things are happening with Microsoft, that's probably going to happen.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic. It
would actually probably make the most sense for Xbox. Like more people would buy it. Like
you're not wrong.
I know I'm not. Like that doesn't surprise. I don't think that's the slam you want it to be, Dev. Like that just is kind of
I would love that. That's
fiduciary sense there. The thing that I want tomorrow is to see Metal Gear Solid Delta dated for a release this fall.
God,
I don't know if we're going to. I don't know if that game's coming out this year. I would say Silent Hill. Silent Hill has an event tomorrow too, right? Did I write that down? I don't remember. But I think they have a
see it in the news.
I think they have one tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's soon. Silent Hill has like some transmission thing that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So maybe they could do both. They could like show the game for their thing and then also release it in the Sony thing. But Metal Gear is the one that I want the most.
We'll probably see that Alan Wake DLC tomorrow too.
That's a good call. Yeah. Other than that, Concord, like they've got these live service games that are out there.
Maybe. I think we're going to see Destiny 2 tomorrow also. I think we'll see the final shape.
There you go. So it doesn't sound like a bad, I mean, it would be nice to have like a really cool like indie game or something. But I think that's kind of what we're looking at down a barrel, some combination of that sort of stuff. I definitely don't think all of that's going to happen. Haley says, nope, that's the 7th. Is that I think that's a Silent Hill thing, is the 7th. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Metal Gear is the one that I would like to see. I would love to see some gameplay and have a firm release date and announcement for Metal Gear Delta. Oh, she says Alan Wake is the 7th. Sorry. I don't know when the Silent Hill thing is. Let me look it up real quick.
I don't know. It's not something I'm tracking, so It's not on my radar.
Silent Hill transmission announced for May 30th. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. So yeah, maybe they'll do both.
To be there. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I can see that.
I would expect that to be Sony at least have the marketing deal. If it's not a console, it could be a console exclusive. So I don't know.
Wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me either. So that'd be a good show if we got Silent Hill and Astrobot and a couple VR games and Destiny and one or two others. That's decent.
Call of Duty. Yeah.
Mark it down. Dude, the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 shit looks dope. I'm very excited. We'll get into it in the news. I've got it on here. So,
you want to go over this Sony financial stuff?
Yeah. So we have Sony had a business meeting, whatever they call it. I wrote financials and strategy stuff is what I wrote. PlayStation has revealed that as of April 30th, half of their active user base on PlayStation consoles are on PlayStation 4. It's exactly 49 million on both. They have 49 million players on PS4 and 49 million players on PS5. The PlayStation
That's unique players. Like, dude, like let's say you have a PS4 and a PS5, and like you have a PS5 upstairs.
I didn't look into it that much. I assume that they're counting unique players. Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
I assume they're probably counting them by transactions made on both. Right. So if you make a transaction on your PS4, they're probably counting you as a player. And if you make a transaction on PS5, they're probably counting you as a player.
How are they counting me? I don't make transactions on either. I buy them all off the app.
Yeah, what are you buying?
Well, I'll buy a game that's on both systems.
Have you bought any PS4 stuff?
Well, I bought, let's see, Lego Skywalker, which is
I don't know.
It's on both systems. So.
It also could just be playing, like active players playing on both consoles too. I think it could be that easy.
My son plays on the PS4 a lot.
The PlayStation 5 is PlayStation's most profitable generation to date, as users spend more money and time on PlayStation 5 than they have on PS4 or PS3.
All these long-ass expensive games.
They look to get more people into the console via peripherals and new devices. And as such, Herman Hulst did speak to their PC strategy, where he said their single-player narrative games, or what they now refer to as their tentpole games, on PC are meant to entice players to play sequels on console. So if you were hoping for day-and-date PlayStation games from their tentpole franchises, it looks like their strategy will be much more of what they're already doing, where you'll get the game years down the road as some sort of enticement to get you to get a console and play later.
That sounds like
I'm sorry?
That sounds like much more of what they're already doing. It sounds like the Canadian update for it.
Yeah,
that's funny. What do you guys think of that? I mean, I don't mind the business practice, but a lot of people are joking on that, on just that statement, on that logic.
I think it makes sense. It's just like, why would we have to put all our eggs in that? We'll make you buy a PlayStation, and then we'll release a game on PC, and you might buy the thing on the next one. Like, you enjoyed this one, so now you go get a PlayStation. I get it.
The PC talk was
not losing anything.
Yes, PlayStation, I will turn in my graphics card for a console to play these games a much, less rendition than what I'm capable of playing now. It's interesting. It's an interesting.
Well, see, I would argue against that, because if you look at the people who, like, the majority of the PC players are not playing on anything high end. They're all playing on much older graphics cards that either stack up or below.
I don't think it's much older. I think Steam's counts. Didn't they say this
2060?
Year? I think the 3080 is Steam's most used video card this year. I think that's true.
I don't think so, Tim.
I think I read that.
It's a something 60.
That's what it used to be. I think the 3080.
It's always the 60s. And if it's the 3080, that's still pretty much the PS5.
I'm not here to argue that. I'm just saying, I think that more PC players have transit. I think they released that in their stats at some point. I think I recall that. But you're right. Generally, you're right. There's still
NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 is the most used GPU on Steam.
Okay.
And that was the last Steam survey in 2023. So 3060.
Like super old.
It's not super old. But it's still the 60 card, which
like
is way more.
True, but we're not talking like
console.
the 1050 that we would make those jokes for years that it was, like this super old card, but like people are upgrading.
The second spot is the 1650.
Okay.
The 3080 and 3060 came out in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Came out the same year as the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see both sides of it, actually. I mean, I think it makes sense for PlayStation to hold that line because it does risk cannibalizing their console business. And likewise, if you were somebody that mainly wants to play on PC, I could see you being like, I'm not going to. You can want me to get a PlayStation 5 all you want, but, I'm likely not. Yeah. So I think both of those things can be true.
All three of us have a PC and a PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't get as much use from all three of us, but we all own them.
Very true.
Yeah, but we're all gamers, right? I think the general gamer that we talk to so often, like the make up the mass of this market, they're not having all the consoles. They have one or two.
Oh, yeah, and they definitely don't have a high-end graphics card either.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and as we're seeing by the numbers, they may not even have PlayStation 5 either. Therein lies kind of the problem, guys. You can play Fortnite on a fucking iPad if you want to. Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily need any of this shit.
Yep.
Spider-Man 2 has sold over 11 million copies so far, which is great. It's pretty stellar for a first-party release. PlayStation will continue to release its tentpole single-player releases on console first, while live service games will target both console and PC. So these live service projects they have in the work, you expect to see more of that stuff coming from them.
Yep.
And they had a cool little graphic we shared in Discord. They had a bunch of different graphics like how they categorize their studios. That one I think was the most interesting of the ones that I shared because they have some studios that are listed as like multiple genre, multiple type of games. Mm-hmm. Like Bend. Like, is Bend making a multiplayer game?
Mm-hmm. Is Bend making games? Who knows?
It's a good question. That's from their strategy and business stuff. The Days of Play sale is running live now through June 12th. You can save 30% off PlayStation Plus subs, 25% off PlayStation Plus upgrades, $50 off PS5s, $100 off VR2s. They have hundreds of games on sale now, and they will have daily, or if not every other day, 24-hour flash sales on titles throughout the promotion.
There's more PlayStation.
The June essential games for PlayStation Plus are SpongeBob Cosmic Shake, Streets of Rage 4, and AEW Fight Forever.
They also still have the the EA's football club is still actually a free game on Plus as well. It's still going till I think the middle of the month.
Play Streets of Rage 4, people. I love that game. And AEW Fight Forever is fun. If you can pick that game up for free, it's a fun game, especially like the old wrestling games. Pretty fun. They've almost it feels like they've abandoned that game. I'm actually glad Delvin's not here because Delvin really likes it and he would argue me. But if you look that game up on YouTube, a lot of people are like, what the fuck? Like, there have been no updates to it, like DLC, like half the game, like there's a lot of bugs and stuff. But it's like good jank though. It's like good wrestling game. It's like funny bugs. I still say you play it. If you get a chance to
features.
Yeah, they're features. There's stupid funny stuff. But like the online play is atrocious. The connection's terrible. It's interesting. I'm not sure exactly what happened with that game. The non-essentials, as part of the Days of Play event, PSVR 2 games will be included for PlayStation Plus Premium for the first time. So you can get Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders, Before Your Eyes, and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapters 1 and 2 with your PlayStation expensive subscription on PSVR 2. I don't know what any of those games are besides the Saints and Sinners game. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners was excellent. Very good.
Yeah, I remember seeing Rise of the Ghost Lord. That one looked pretty cool. The rest of them I have not heard of.
And then PlayStation 2 titles are coming June 11th. So you can play Tomb Raider Legend, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Sly Cooper. So
I saw a lot of hubbub around people being really excited about PS2 games coming.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are they only available in the subscription, or can you buy them?
I have no idea. I'm assuming if they're available in subscription, you can also buy them, but I honestly don't know and probably won't know until June 11th.
Yeah.
Who is playing these games?
Delvin.
These PS2 games? Like, and is it just like boot up and say that you did?
Premium tier? Nobody. If I can buy them for like $10, I would probably buy some PS2 games.
This is
But
totally
you'd probably just buy it,
Delvin
but
and
would you
Donnie's
really
alley.
play it?
Yeah, I bought PS2 games on PS4. I had
Listen to
Metal and
the
I
podcast.
had
He
Grand
does
Theft
this.
Auto. Yeah,
He does.
and
this.
I also
Him and
have
Delvin
them
both.
I also have them on my laptop, and I can play them better there. And I still would buy them. I like buying games; it's fun.
I'm with you, Nathan. I'm like, who's still playing PS2 games? Like, really? That's what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
My only
I'm
problem
shocked.
with PS2 games is that there are not more of them to buy. You put some Clock Tower and shit on it, I buy a lot of PS2 games. But it's
All
all
my
licensing
PS2
and
games that I
IP and
want, I
bullshit.
still
You put
have.
some sports games on there and shit. I would buy a lot of PS2 games if I had the whole library to pick from. I'd buy 50
You'd
PS2
buy an
games.
old ass Madden?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yep. Madden 06, 100%.
I don't understand.
NCAA, NFL Street, NBA Street.
NCAA is
Grand Theft
different
Auto?
because they stopped making them. Like
Well,
that's the only
that'll
way
be
you
here in
can
a few
play it.
weeks. It'll be here in a few weeks.
We're going to get into that. We'll save that. We'll get into that. But like, there's a lot of old games that if I could buy and play, I would buy them instantly for sure.
Interesting. Yeah. See, I still have my PS2 and all of like the PS2 games that I wanted to keep. I still have it. If I really wanted to play them, I would just do that.
So in this instance,
you can buy them. You don't have to subscribe. You can buy them. It's like Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that. Jack and Daxter.
No.
So Donnie, with these older games, are you like buying them to like play them to completion, or just to play to get a taste and then like you're satisfied?
It's a nostalgia fix.
Okay,
This is what he does.
I get that.
Nathan.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Ethan, I 100% know that you have bought an Xbox or a 360 title on Xbox backwards compatibility.
well, I bought it for sure, but I never probably played it.
Okay,
We don't play video games, Nate. We don't play video games. We just kind of collect them.
You remember here talking about Knights of the Old Republic? Like, what if they pulled back some old Star Wars? What if they put Rogue Squadron on it? You'd buy that shit. I would too.
I'm sure it's on iPad.
Not Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron's only on 64 and the GameCube version, and then like there's a PC version too.
Yeah, and if they brought Rogue Squadron to Nintendo Switch Online, I'd be there. The only one of us that I believe when he says he's not doing any of that is Dev,
Yeah, I'm not playing it.
because he's heartless. So
I'm not heartless. It's just
No,
I
you
don't
are.
I don't replay things. Like that's just not my
except
thing.
Destiny.
It's never.
I don't
been.
replay things, but I played Destiny for 10 years.
I
That is
play the new
replaying
stuff,
Destiny, sir.
and then I stop playing until
Dude.
there's more new stuff.
The same stuff.
It's not the same stuff.
It is the same stuff. You pick up the gun and you shoot the thing that put right is the same thing.
It's a new gun.
Oh my god.
It's a new story.
Except for the greatest hits, right?
It's a new version of that
The
gun.
ones that they brought
It's
back.
got new perks.
It's the remix.
It's the remix.
But the NES is his favorite console. And it'd be
It
the
is.
one he'd
It
pick
truly
if he
is.
was on a deserted island. That'd be the only
If I was
console
on
he'd ever-
deserted island and I could only play something, it would be
Bullshit.
Nintendo.
God,
It's
it's
okay,
all
you don't have-
bullshit. All bullshit.
So you believe me for some things and not others. It's okay. That's
I don't
what,
believe you for most things. That's what I'm trying to say.
So Dev, if you're on a desert island and you only have a Nintendo, are you gonna just look at me like, man, old game is old?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna play Nintendo games because I still play Nintendo games. Like I still break out my little NES and we'll play stuff. Like that's something that I do. But as far as like going, that's the only stuff I'll go back to is like Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I do not go back to PS1 or PS2 or PS3. Like I just don't. Those games don't hold the like I don't want to play those games. They're ugly.
It's been conditioned
sprites
by
still look
Jim
good.
Ryan. Jim Ryan said it best. Nobody wants to play that.
I agree. I don't want to play that stuff.
Completely
PS1,
wrong.
nah, it's just not my thing.
Oh well,
More,
I
more
think
props to you.
to your point, a lot of these games have been remade or remastered and brought forward. Like you can play God of War, right? You can play God of War 3 remastered. You can do Vice City. You can do, all of the GTAs are done. Like we've had one of the Ratchet and Clanks got remastered, right? Shadow of the Colossus has been redone. So like a lot of things have just been redone. Have they done the Final Fantasies from that era?
I mean,
I'm not like a
VII.
PS2, aficionado, so I don't know what everybody was doing back then.
They did the 10 and 10-2 remaster, didn't they?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do know that.
I only played
Switch.
7 and 8.
So yeah, a lot of for that stuff, and honestly, for the same thing for like Xbox, a lot of the ones that you'd want to play have been brought forward. So
Look, there's only like a couple of games I want remade.
they put Hot Shots on PlayStation 5. I'm buying it.
Give me Metal Gear Solid 1 and give me NBA Street Volume 2.
They did that.
No,
they did Metal Gear Solid 1.
No.
Yeah, no, they did.
I still have Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't need that version. I
You
want
can't play on PS5
a remake. I don't need to play on PS5. I need a remake.
Well, I do.
The remake is on GameCube for you, buddy.
That's true.
I'm not playing a game. I don't have a GameCube. Never had a GameCube. Not going to have a GameCube. I hate that controller.
Twin Snakes was a fantastic remake, though. That was really good.
A lot of people do not share that opinion.
I thought it was good.
You can keep that trash. Remake. Stop this Delta shit. Remake 1.
We're doing Delta.
Get out of here with Snake Eater.
Snake Eater, baby. Let's go.
I hated that game. That's my least favorite Metal Gear game. I hated
the best
that
story.
One. No.
Anyway, if they make any Hot Shots for PlayStation 5, I don't give a shit. Vita, PSP, the original PlayStation, the PS2, the PS3, I will buy all of them instantly, Nathan. And if tomorrow's announcement was we're putting Hot Shots 3 on PS5, I would have bought a PlayStation 5 just for that. 100%. I'd be like, sorry, no Astropot, but we do have Hot Shots Golf out of bounds. I'm so there.
If it golfs, Donnie plays it.
Can we get Infamous?
That's PS3.
I know. Can we get any PS3 games at all?
No.
We still got to stream this bullshit.
Gotta stream it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No soup for you.
Oh, I've got soup. Trust me, I got soup on my computer. Don't worry about it. My soup is great. Be nice to play it on my controller though. On my console. Call of Duty news. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot your other non-essential games.
You can forget those.
Cricket 24, Lego Marvel Heroes 2, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Definitive Edition, and then Dredge, which is by far the best of this group. Dredge is excellent. So if you haven't played it, you should. Call of Duty news. There's a new live action trailer as the marketing ramps up for Black Ops 6. The trailer is chock full of 90s nods to Gulf War, and we see personas like Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Saddam Hussein, amongst others. I think it was like Margaret Thatcher was in there, Colin Powell was in there. All kinds of fucking people are in this damn thing.
Hey, just pause it for 1 second. So I've been thinking about something since you said it. So Cricket 2024 is coming on the service. There has to be some sort of data that says, hey, there are people that will play this.
Yeah, 100%. I can give you that data. That's not a thing. The PlayStation is massive in the UK. It's huge in Europe.
Okay, yeah.
The PlayStation is to Europe what Nintendo is to Japan.
Are these the same services? Is this the same game selection that's going to be in the UK as is in the States? They're not different.
It's available on the service in the UK. That's the only reason that this is here.
I had no idea there were even cricket games, and there are
because of Europe,
several of them.
Cricket and FIFA, and like that's their whole territory, and like not like the UK. PlayStation owns that continent by a large margin. Like they are by far and away the choice in that territory. That territory put Jim Ryan head of the company. Just their dominance there alone, they were like, let's make him the head because he must do something right. Like they're it. So, I wrote down a quote. I'm not going to read it. I don't care.
I'll read it. The truth is, your whole life is a lie, Clinton said with a smirk. Nothing is what it seems, Saddam Hussein concluded. But if it's truth you seek, look in the dark.
So they're doing the big conspiracy, Black Ops shit that we've always known Black Ops to do. It looks great. Like it really does. I'm coughing, so I'm trying to look over it, but I'm not like, I'm actually kind of stoked for Black Ops. I was like, this looks great. And reportedly, as much as you can believe internet fodder, I've seen a lot of people report this game has been in the works for a long time. They've been playtesting it for like a year. So hopefully that means it's more solid than maybe the last couple outings. Now, who knows? We'll see when it actually releases. It's been confirmed day one on Game Pass now. Microsoft had their little blog post and their Xbox Wire. They have now confirmed it will be day one on Game Pass. It'll be day one on Game Pass for all the Game Pass tiers, even on PC. Yep. So if you want to play Call of Duty for, what's PC price? $9.99 Game Pass for PC? You can subscribe to Game Pass for $10 and play Call of Duty day one.
On PC, do you know if they require like the online subscription to play multiplayer?
Not on PC.
No.
Not on PC.
Multiplayer is free on PC, as it should be on consoles. They did announce that the Xbox Game Showcase will be followed by a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct June 9th at 1 p.m. Call of Duty's website accidentally had, I always put accidentally in quotes, because when it comes to Call of Duty, and I think of the same thing for like Assassin's Creed, I never know like what is actually a leak or what was purposefully leaked to us, right? I think with Call of Duty, they leak a lot of things on their own because they just want people to hype up about it. But there was a thumbnail on the embedded video on the Call of Duty website that wasn't there for everybody else that confirmed a returning character from Cold War. It should be the character you're thinking about. If you don't want to be spoiled, I won't mention it. And if you don't know, play Cold War. It'll probably come to Game Pass. But like, so Cold War will probably tie into this story-wise quite a bit. So
I have Cold War.
For Call of Duty.
Never played it.
I like Cold War's campaign. The problem, it's not a problem. The thing I wish wasn't the case with Cold War is that so much of the story is into Warzone. They have like so many cutscenes and stuff in Warzone, and if you don't play it, you just kind of miss out on it. You can like YouTube it and look it up and stuff. But the Cold War campaign was really short, like 4 or 5 hours, but was fun. I did enjoy it. It was fun. They have like the character that's returning. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't know his name. I do know his name. His name's Adler. I call him Kurt Russell because his character's clearly modeled after Kurt Russell. It's like 80s Kurt Russell in a war, 80s war, Cold War espionage movie. It's kind of dope. I kind of loved it. I was like, this is it's very fun. It's like, this is very fun.
I wonder if since Warzone has like moved on to the newer games, if they then put those cutscenes back in Cold War versus having to go play them in Warzone where they probably don't.
That's a good question. Anymore. I don't know. And I'll tell you this. As every year passes by, I feel like I know less and less and less about how Call of Duty works. It's so confusing as to where the cutscenes and seasons and battle passes and war zones and zombies and modes, and you've like all the story is in the story mode, but then you've got to play Warzone and then you got to play the season, and like I can't keep up with it. I don't understand what.
And for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah, I get it. That I actually get, but I still. Here's the thing: I'd probably be with you if I was still peddling $70 a pop, but.
I'm not even going to sub the Game Pass for $10 to play it. No,
I will totally just play that campaign. Just give me the campaigns. Thank you very much. Nine Souls is out today, I think. That trailer said it was coming out today. I actually didn't see any buzz about it today, but it should be out today. Dev, that game should be on your radar. I think it was the first time we saw it. The first time we saw it, you were like, "This looks amazing."
Not ringing any bells.
Okay, well, you should look it up. It's out today, and you may like it one day.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm not going to play that.
Damn, it looks good. I want to play it someday, but, with what time? Konami revealed it's holding the Silent Hill transmission event on May 30th, so I did put it in here. College Football 25 previews dropped today, and we got a lot of marketing blurbs. No gameplay demos, like nobody was able to capture anything, but we got a lot of hands-on impressions in the previews. So I wrote down a few things, but I posted a shit ton of stuff in the Discord. Do either of you have anything you care to know or want to ask about the game?
Historically, didn't they do like the more advanced version was like the NCAA for the engine perspective, and then like the Madden one wasn't? It was like the previous year. Wasn't that what they did before?
I honestly don't think I could. I wanted to say I think it's the other way around, but I don't remember. I don't remember. Well, I'll piggyback off of what you just said, Nathan, and I will tell you that There is a clear, decided marketing push that every person that went there to play the game is taken away with, and that it is not Madden. Every single article and YouTube video and tweet, they all have the same slogan. This is not a Madden reskin. And it doesn't seem like it is. They have their own passing mechanics. Apparently it's got some sort of press button to hold a meter sort of thing. I don't know if it's power or verticality or lobs or whatever, but we haven't seen it in practice. But they do have their own passing mechanics. They have new kicking mechanics. And everybody talked about how they kept shanking punts and kicks and shit and fucking up. So like, it'll have its own mechanics. The option has been completely redefined. Dev, instead of pressing a button to push the ball, to like pitch it, you now press the button to keep it. So like the pitch and the give will happen automatically if you don't press anything. And if you do press something, you'll keep it. So it's more of like a pull. You're running the pull than the pass.
So I have to, worry about my quarterback's awareness to decide whether he's going to pitch it or not?
Probably. They did talk a lot about how the player's stats will change in game depending on the environment. So if you're in a hostile territory, your players' stats might drop, especially if they're not if they're young and they're not seasoned. There's also the wear and tear system, which is game to game, like in game, quarter to quarter. So if you're running a certain back a lot, his stats will fall quickly and he's more prone to injury.
So you're saying Shiloh Sanders is going to get lit up and suck?
Probably. If they don't fix that O-line, he's going to get destroyed. And Travis Hunter, that poor kid he's playing like 400 plays a game. Because I'm going to get him off the field. I'm interested to see Hunter because he's supposed to be a touted draft prospect.
Athlete, right?
And I believe he will be. I think he's one of the best players I've seen. But last year I began to wonder if I wonder if Dion's doing him service by playing him. He's not a receiver. He's a receiver at Colorado. He's not going to play receiver in the league. And I'm wondering if having him play both ways is maybe hurting his development at all. I don't know. Just something my eyes have started, because I watched 4 Colorado games and I was like, this isn't helping this kid at all. He might be helping the team, but this isn't helping him. And I don't see a whole lot of people really talking about that, but that's neither here nor there. They did talk about when you have big plays, when you hit the playbook to pick your next play, there will be picture-in-picture screens showing you the team, and they may do cool celebrations or some of that pageantry will be there in your play selection screen, which I thought was neat. And then if you're wondering how Dynasty works, you don't have an NIL fund to spend on kids. What they have is you have brand awareness points, and you can dedicate your brand awareness points to players. So that's how they're doing NIL. It's not straight money.
Do I have the option to turn that off and go back to the 90s and just regular recruiting? We're gonna get rid of this NIL stuff, and we're gonna do traditional college.
Also in Dynasty, the way that they've set it up, because they talked a great deal about how this game will be different. Everybody said it's faster. So if you're looking for that arcadey feel that I talked about, it looks like that's there, or at least is more there than it is in Madden. They're it doesn't feel like Madden. Everybody's faster. They also talked about, and I think this was your point, Dev, the stats have been spread out. So the top teams are way better than the bottom teams, and it shows. And if you have an athlete like Travis Hunter or Mecca Ibuka or something, they can literally wreck an entire game because they're just better than everybody else on the field. And the way that they apply that to Dynasty mode is if you start with a small team, like you're supposed to, you have limitations on the offers and the things that you can make to players and your schedule. You're not allowed to offer somebody in the world. You can't tell them you're going to send them to the NFL draft because you're at Coastal Carolina. They don't send kids to the draft. Stuff like that. So there just seems to be a lot of thought and effort put into this thing. And I'm eager to see gameplay. I want to see these mechanics. The passing mechanic worries me because I've seen a few football games go to this. Madden tried to do this a couple years ago, and I hated it. And there's that new arcade football game that came on Switch. It also has that push to throw the ball meter thing. I didn't like that either. So I don't know.
Bring back the passing cones.
I do like passing cones. Amazon Games has announced a publishing deal with Maverick Games for a new driving game. Maverick Games was started by the Forza Horizon developers. They left Playground and they started their own thing, and now Amazon's giving them a bunch of money to make, guess what? An open world Horizon clone, probably. An open world driving game.
Well,
is this for Luna?
Like all the other Amazon games, they don't shit can it.
That's true. Nathan, Amazon is publishing the next Tomb Raider game, so they're doing the multi-platform development. They're more of a third-party publisher. I'm sure it'll be on Luna, but they're not making exclusive Luna games. Not at that level, anyway. I don't think that'd be crazy if they made a whole damn Tomb Raider game for Luna.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
I would expect people to be just as angry as they were when Phil made it exclusive. So some rumors before we get to the Rude Day segment. 2K looks like they might be getting in on the football fund, and by football I mean soccer.
Football.
It looks like they have agreed. This report came from an outlet that I don't have a whole lot of credibility in, and I haven't seen a lot of people confirm it. So I'm putting in the rumors, but it looks like 2K may have secured the FIFA IP. So they might be making like a 2K FIFA 2K something, which does pose an interesting dilemma, because we talked about this with Sean like 2 years ago, Dev. I was, Dev was like, or Sean made the claim that he didn't think a lot of people would transition from FIFA to EA Football Club. And is a good premise, but I didn't think that premise held much water because there wasn't anything else to buy.
Right.
It was just Football Club. There's no Pro Evo. There's only one soccer game on the shelf. Like, you're going to buy that one. It's the one that has, whoever, on the cover. It will be interesting, though, if there is a day and time where there's two boxes on the shelf and one of them is called FIFA, and it's not the FIFA one that you think was FIFA. I think that's an actual dilemma. I could see a lot of people just being like, "Oh, yeah, I like FIFA," and just buy that. Yeah. They don't know the difference. I think that's a legit claim that they don't know the difference.
I'd buy the one with Roy Kent on the box.
I'm sorry?
I would buy the one with Roy Kent on the box. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere.
True.
Who?
So it's the TV show. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. The original source said that they just got into it, so I think this might be a thing that they're trying to get out before World Cup. So it's a couple years away, and we'll see. I'm all for more competition in sports games. I wish we had more of it. So I think this is great. Speaking of studios, a new studio, 100 Star, the studio that was founded by Rocksteady co-founders, has signed a deal with Xbox Game Studios to develop a AAA standard single-player action-adventure game in Unreal 5.
Okay, cool.
So, also years away from now.
So it'll be on everything, because there won't be an Xbox by then.
So do you think it was more cost-effective for them to do this type of deal than repurpose one of those studios that they just recently closed?
Probably. I mean, that's something to think about, right? Like, they just closed Tango and Arcane Austin, and now they've signed deals, and they've done this with other studios too, but they just recently signed this deal. You do wonder if it is do they look at it as a better allocation of their resources, maybe not the long-term commitment, and or do they look at it as, we don't have faith that Tango or Austin can deliver a game like this? Are they looking at maybe this 100 Star Studios with their background, maybe they can deliver a game that has significant more reach than Redfall or Ghostwire Tokyo did?
So you go with the studio that's never created a game on its own versus Tango that can deliver hits.
Yeah,
We don't need to rehash that.
I mean, it's interesting you put the word hit on it. I love Tango's work, but I don't know, so you could call them hits.
I mean, what is a hit? People like it. It's a hit. Say it to somebody.
Yeah, but IGN liked it doesn't mean it's sold.
I mean, nothing from Xbox sells, so it's all on Game Pass.
Obviously, I would prefer Tango to stick. Tango makes games that I'm into. But if you're telling me that we've got Rocksteady's co-founders and they're building a studio to make I'll just put in quote, a Rocksteady-like game, obviously a game like that probably has a lot more promise than Hi-Fi Rush 2.
Maybe.
Not trying to defend Xbox. I think that's a logical leap to make.
Could take a bajillion years.
Could also never come out. Could be scalebound, could be canceled. Yeah, I'm exactly. With you. I'm 100%.
I don't know about this one. Release a game first before I give you any
It sounds
money.
very Xbox. I do think they would probably, if Phil Spencer wasn't a thing, Xbox would rather contract and pay for projects as opposed to own and develop teams and studios and keep that ongoing thing. That's been the issue with Halo. That's why for 20 years they didn't have any studios, because they just bought games.
Yep.
Gears wasn't even them. It wasn't there. They had to buy Gears, just like they had to buy Halo. To me, this feels like Microsoft's way of doing business. And to your point, maybe they're getting back to that, as opposed to, no, we need to foster and develop and,
maybe get back to something.
I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't know. We talked about Resident Evil rumors, so I threw this in here because Dusk Golem touched up on his original rumors. He says that the Resident Evil 9 has been delayed from what he was previously told, and says that there are remakes of both Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica in the works. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that from Capcom in the future.
All right. All right, Rude Days. It's your time to shine, sir. He says, we each got a point for the Pacers not winning another game, but the Mavericks series is looking like an L as we both chose the Timberwolves. Apparently, we chose poorly.
We chose so poorly. What happened to Ant and Cat?
They just
I saw the stats the other day. They're shooting like
abysmal.
It's like 26 of 100 from the floor.
That's real bad.
The Ringer podcast said that Kyrie and Luka had made it was something. No, I think it was Windhorse. Windhorse is really into advanced stats, and they said I think it was over 4 games at the time. They said that Luka and Kyrie had made 75 more threes than Cat and Ant had.
Jesus Christ!
And you're like, well, there's the series. You can't win like that.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know what in the hell happened. I was going to ask you. I think the answer is just that Minnesota has suddenly played very poorly, and that's not surprising because they've been hit and miss all fucking season long.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I am wondering if were we misled by the fact that they had built a team seemingly specifically to take on Denver, so maybe they looked better against Denver than other teams look against Denver, but they don't look as good against teams that aren't Denver. Could that be
I think it's a combination of both. They were definitely built. They're not playing well at all, but they definitely have pieces that just match up better against Denver for sure, where they just seemingly have no answer for Dallas at all.
They're the best defensive team in the league, and Dallas is shutting them down.
Mm-hmm. Gobert, I swear to God, he's not the defensive player of the year. Anybody that is consistently targeted by every other team in the league, how does he get defensive player of the year?
He's not targeted by every team in the league. That's not fair. You're being
Okay, if you listen to the players, they're like, yeah, we go right at him because we know.
Well, I've watched,
and that's been a talk. That's been talk
during the regular season. People weren't going right at Gobert. I think that take, I saw Shaq talking about that defensive. That take is because we do this in the playoffs. Those awards are regular season awards, right? I think we're making big proclamation.
I don't even think he was a regular season.
Here's another way of putting this.
Trash.
If Luka or Kyrie go against any defensive player of the year, they'll look like that. You know why? Because they're Luka and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
And they can do that against anybody. They could do that against the glove. You could put Michael Jordan himself on Luka. Luka's still going to get 25.
It'll be a much harder 25. That's
in today's NBA, he's definitely getting 25.
I mean, look.
Can't play defense.
Gobert's trash.
He's not
trash. Garbage.
That's knee jerk. I think that's knee jerk. He's not trash.
He's trash. Get him out of here.
He definitely should not be. He definitely should not be out 24 feet away from the basket trying to guard Luka. That's a position of failure for him. That's his coach's problem. In the paint. Not his problem.
Stay in the paint. AD could do it.
They switched on him. They switched him off.
They're smart. That's how you do it. Switch off. Go at him. Move. Make a move. Make a move.
You got to have Gobert come, or you play him off the floor. That's the problem with big men. You can't stick them if you're going to do that. So you take them off the floor. And the coach probably doesn't want to do that. I don't look. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but
this is why AD should have been Defensive Player of the Year. As much as I hate him, but yeah, Denver or Dallas is they're just out there. They're hitting the shots they're supposed to make. They're doing what they're supposed to do, and the Timberwolves just aren't. Yeah,
hard defense.
Yeah, Kyrie's
something he never did in Cleveland.
We're ready to go. It's weird how he's okay. He's okay being Robin here. He's like, I'm just gonna be Robin. I'm gonna be the best damn Robin there ever was.
I think that's a couple things. I definitely think it's his trials and tribulations over the years catching up to him. That's mature. That's maturing. Mm-hmm. I also think that's because it's Luka. It's easy to be Robin to Luka. Like you can think you're Batman, and then you come to Luka, and you're like, well, I'll be 1B. Let him be 1A, and I'll be 1B.
It's him understanding, knowing what he has in Luka, the maturity, and him also being able to instill.
It's Boston. It's Brooklyn. It's a lot. I think Kyrie's just in a good place at the moment, and we're seeing what a good solid-headed Kyrie is capable of. Yeah, and he's one of the best. He's incredible.
Yeah,
I still think this has more to say about Minnie than Dallas.
I do too. They're probably also a little bit more fatigued.
I picked Denver over Dallas.
Yeah.
Would you or would you not?
I would have, yeah. Because I feel like outside of
Joker would have destroyed Dallas.
Yeah, they don't.
I'm wondering, that's where I keep coming back to. I'm like, was I just maybe misled just because Minnesota is such a good matchup for Denver? They match up so well at so many positions that maybe I thought they were better, right? Maybe they were better than they were just because they were a good matchup. But we'll never know. Not trying to take anything away from the Mavs. Cavs for Mavs. If they get through, I'll be rooting for them.
Yeah, and it's not like the games are that far. It's not like it's blowouts either.
No, it's close.
The games have been
crunch time
close. Mm-hmm.
Who do you have faith in? That's on Ant.
The team that has veterans, they've got Ant. 2 veteran players.
That's on 8 for 23 Ant. Mm-hmm. So you got to be better than that. You can't be Mr. Hero, Mr. Olympics, Mr. All that if you're going to go 8 for 23.
I think part of that is the fact that both Luka and Kyrie have been here before. Yeah, this is the furthest Ant and Cat have ever gotten.
Everybody goes through this.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're probably going to lose that point. So right now the score is Donnie with a runaway 30. Me 23, Delvin and friends 23. And apparently my favorite, the mid-season tournament spectacular, we're all tied at 1. So right now, the final week of the Devin mid-season tournament spectacular, who you got in the finals? 1 point for the winner, 1 point for the correct number of games, and 1 point if you guess the NBA Finals MVP. He says he assumes it's going to be Dallas versus Boston, but if you think the Wolves can change history, knock yourself out.
Who you got, Nathan?
I'm gonna go with side with Rudays on this one and just follow his lead.
So that means Delvin gets no points. Because if you ain't picking nothing, Delvin and friends get nothing.
Well, okay. So who's in contention?
Boston or Dallas?
Boston, and Minnesota. You got to pick between Minnesota and Dallas to go to the finals against
Between Boston and Dallas.
Yeah, so I said Boston
here.
Boston
Okay.
and Dallas. I want to go Boston and Dallas.
Okay.
All right. And then how many games is the series?
So the total maximum games is 7, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So I say maybe run it out to 6 games.
Okay.
And who's winning?
So you got Boston in 6.
I put Boston. Yeah,
Boston in 6, and
let's
then
go Boston.
who's the
MVP
finals
is Tatum.
MVP?
Who are the star players on these teams? I have.
Jason
Pick
Tatum or
Tatum or
Jaylen Brown?
Let's go Brown.
All right. So he's got Boston in 6 with Brown.
All right. What do you got, Danny?
I'm going to take the Mavs in 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to take Kyrie.
I've got the Mavs in 7, but I'm picking Luka.
Okay. I think Luka's going to be the hot pick. That's the trendy pick. And I just got a feeling if you get to game 7, because I don't like that Mavs are still playing. Boston's done. They're through. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got a feeling that like maybe Boston wins the first 2. Maybe Dallas evens it up, and maybe we have like a real 3-game series. And there's just something in my head with where Kyrie is. You get Kyrie on a big stage against Boston in game 7, he might go fucking completely bananas. He might go off, like big off. He may win the MVP in 1 game.
Revenge!
I'm rooting for the revenge story.
I am too because I hate Boston.
Same. Well, everybody does. Everybody but Joe.
Everybody but Smokeless Joseph. Fucking Celtics. What kind of shenanigans?
And
are you from Boston?
Yeah. And like I said, in my head, I'm picturing this. Boston goes up. Maybe they start talking some trash, and then, that's all. Like then,
Kyrie takes over.
He just settles in.
We get Kyrie with the MVP award on the floor crying.
Maybe he might retire.
Hey, at the end of these games, did they cut the nets off the hoops?
No, that's
different sport.
Basketball.
Different thing.
That's college. They pop bottles of champagne and things. That's what they do.
On strippers. I go to Vegas.
Not if you're Minnesota. Not Minnesota. The Timberwolves. Not Timberwolves. The other deer team. Who are they?
What?
Milwaukee. The Bucks.
The other deer team. About the other deer.
Apparently, I forgot who it was. I think it was it Teague? He said that like after the game, they all just went home. They didn't go out. They didn't go party. They were trying to get some of the vets to go to Vegas, and they went home. It's like, what?
LeBron put everybody
the championship
in Vegas.
went home.
LeBron was like, "We're going to Vegas."
I'm saying, like, what are you doing?
I remember they got like Deli like drunk as hell. Deli was like, "I didn't want to go." They're like, "You're going."
Oh man. So yeah, there it is. I pray to God that Boston loses. In fact, I hope all of them have like turf toe or something. Like they all get injured.
Rooting for injuries.
I'm rooting for injuries for Boston.
Well, I heard if Kristaps comes back, that'd be a problem. He's a big X factor out there looming.
He ain't coming back, and if he does, he's tired. He's not in game shape. He's been out for so long. He's just rusty. He's nothing. He's got nothing. It's no factor at all. Let's go Dallas, because Minnesota, you failed me. You failed me, Mal. You failed me altogether. Minnesota. Ugh. All right. It's question time. We've only got a couple because the 7 didn't all write in this week. So
yeah, nobody read in.
It is what it is.
We miss Delvin.
Yeah, we need Delvin. Delvin, you got to tweet out questions even when you're not going to be here. Just tweet because people seem to respond to you. All right. Oh my God, Joe. Your dad was a diehard Lakers fan, and I feel like you're from LA. You're from the West Coast.
Picked the Lakers.
You decided to root for Boston just to spite your dad?
There's some issues.
And you stuck
there.
with it. You stuck with it all this time. That's what's even worse. Damn. As much as I love Larry Bird, still can't root for Boston. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right. TPR says, which video game protagonist is most likely to be president and why? I feel like The Rock is in a video game somewhere, so I'm just going to go with The Rock. There you go. He's the president.
Like,
because he's
the Rock as in the person that we know as The Rock, or the person that he was in the game?
Both.
Good question. Yeah, I mean, he's not Dwayne Johnson in the game. He's The Rock. So, like, it would be The Rock as president.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is par for the course based on recent current events. Like, this shit makes sense.
Exactly.
I was going to say Price.
Who's Price?
Call of Duty. No.
The dude with the beard.
Yeah.
He wouldn't want to be president. He wants to be out there murdering people and stuff. He's like, I got to sit behind a desk now. I don't get to go on like operations. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't really have good political options, candidates. What am I supposed to say, Mario or some shit? Like, I don't really know how to answer this question.
Yeah. Samus Aran for president. Let's go.
That's weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it anywhere than Trump?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it's that weird. It might be an upgrade.
Maybe. Isabel from Animal Crossing.
There we go.
That's the precedent we need.
Dom from Gears of War for president.
Yeah. Yeah.
My tomatoes. Yeah, I don't know. Like the only protagonists that really come to mind don't even make sense. Yeah, because that's actually because most of what I play is like the car games, right? So
it's at Forza.
Kratos.
Oh goodness.
Let's go. Boy.
He'll put an end to these petty conflicts.
Sackboy for president.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Next year, we'll be asking for Astrobot as his running mate. That's it. Out of here.
Sackboy and Astro. We can all get behind.
No, it's not.
Yes, we can. Everybody needs to chill the fuck out.
I'm voting against that. Wholeheartedly. I'm running smear campaigns and everything.
Jesus.
Astrobot was doing lines of coke.
I have enough of this.
I'm just saying.
I have enough of this. You want more?
That's how I feel. Yeah. If you're putting Astrobot and Sackboy up there, absolutely. I'm against it all. I'm against all of that. No.
Actually, though, I think Joel from The Last of Us would probably be a pretty good president.
What?
Yeah.
He's out here cold-blooded murdering everybody. I don't know.
I mean, he's sees with the world for what it is, and has to take things into his own hands sometimes. He knows the way you want to go, but may not be the best way.
He's just selfish. It has nothing to do with the world being better. He's just selfish. He's just out here for him.
Perfectly qualified for the job is what you're saying.
Exactly. He's a politician.
Oh, no. Commander Shepard.
Yeah, that's a good point. Shepard. I'd take Shepard. Commander Shepard male version and female version as the running mates. Be co-presidents.
I have to take your word for it. I've never played any of those games any longer than like 3 hours. So,
same.
I believe you. And Nathan, we trust. Kyle the Pug says, fuck you, Kyle the Pug. Last Sunday, I was watching the Eddie Guerrero documentary, and his story almost made me cry. Whose WWE documentary has been your favorite to see, and why? Donnie, this question is just for you.
Nathan, what's your favorite WWE documentary?
So the only one I haven't watched one, but like they get the meme from the guy when he talks like the Vince McMahon thing when he's talking about like, don't ask him the question. Is that from a documentary? So there's a whole meme going around where like there's like, when I asked my dad about what it's like back in the day, he's like crying, and he's like, no, it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, Andre the Giant.
Okay. But that's the only thing I've seen.
For that meme is they asked him about Andre, and they were like, "How special was Andre the Giant?" And he got choked up trying to answer, and starts crying. and then cuts the film. So
it's a great meme. That meme is fantastic.
That's the closest I've ever been to a documentary from wrestling.
That'd be about as close as I got as well.
The documentaries that you watch, Kyle the Pug, are fun, but they are just kind of like lookovers of what kind of kayfabe. It usually goes into some off screen, but it's usually just kayfabe, like their characters. My favorite wrestling documentary is Bret Hart's Wrestling with Shadows, for sure. And for anybody that's not a wrestling fan or have never like been into wrestling, I think that's the easiest one to recommend. So if either of you were interested, Nathan or Dev, I think that'd be one you would like to. Bret Hart's Wrestling with Shadows is incredible because do you guys know what happened to Bret Hart in WWE?
All I know is the Canadian or Montreal screw job or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Do you know about it? Do you know what that was?
I just know he was supposed to win and he didn't because at the, I guess the last minute
Correct.
They gave it to Shawn Michaels.
Nathan, there's this infamous moment in wrestling history called the Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart was probably the greatest wrestler on the planet at the time. His contract was up, and he wanted a big raise from WWE, and at the time they were on the ropes, and they said they couldn't do it. So WCW offered a lot more money, and he said, if you can't match it, I'm going to go WCW. And they're like, we can't match it. So he's on his way out of the company, but he's the champion. And WWE wants him to drop the belt to Shawn Michaels, but they don't like each other. So Bret Hart goes, yeah, I'm not going to do that. What'll happen is I will just leave as champion and I'll vacate the title. And you can just give it to whoever you want. Well, Vince McMahon didn't want that to happen. And there's like a lot of history here as to why that didn't happen. There's cases of other people leaving with belts and stuff that he didn't want to have happen. So unbeknownst to Bret Hart, they go out to a match. Shawn Michaels gets him in a hold, and they just ring the bell and stun everybody, like a whole stadium of people. It's just filmed, it's documented, everything is there for the whole world to see. And everybody's like, yeah, he did not tap out. But Vince came down, he's like, ring the damn bell, he lost. And then everybody kind of runs out. They all like get the shit and they get the hell out of town. And they screwed him over, like on live television. It's like big reality TV moment, like before reality TV was a big deal. This would have destroyed social media if it was alive at the time. The craziest thing about this entire experience is that at the time that this happened, Bret Hart was filming a documentary. He had videographers backstage, behind the scenes, in the locker room, in the dressing room, talking to him about his training and his health at his home and his wife. And you have this whole story, and then they just get this shit on film. They get this on film of everybody like running, getting the hell out of Dodge, all this backstage stuff with Vince McMahon. There's been a lot of he said, she said stuff about this story, but according to Bret, he slugged Vince McMahon. He just fucking punched him in the locker room. You don't get to see the punch, but you do get to see a very wobbly Vince McMahon holding his eye, walking down the hallway. Vince McMahon has sworn that has never happened. I think Bret Hart just fucking clocked Vince McMahon over this. And you get to see a lot of like Shawn Michaels, and like he was part of this kind of screw job. And for years he was like, I had no idea. He totally knew. And this documentary is very revealing in that regard. It's one of the very few glimpses we get to see of like live behind the veil inner workings of wrestling. And it happened to be at like its most controversial time. And it's very like crazy in the moment that this ever happened, and that it was documented then above all other things. So it's very entertaining. The other one that's really good is called Beyond the Mat, and that follows like Mick Foley and Terry Funk and stuff. And it's more about like life as a wrestler and not so much the wrestling. And you really see like the brutality and the physical like weight of being a wrestler and what that does to you and what it does to your family. And I believe in the Beyond the Mat, everybody's seen the imagery of like Mick Foley being thrown off the cage, right? Mm-hmm. So they're backstage that, and you see like the staples, and you see like the tooth that went through his sinus into his nose and stuff, like you see it. So that's another really good revealing documentary. And those are both great documentaries to watch, to learn about like the ins and outs of wrestling, especially backstage, which we don't get a lot to see yet. And that'd be my answer. That'd be my offers to both of you. And I say both of you as Nathan just, I'm assuming his connection or whatever just got severed.
Yeah, so sounds like it. They're like, you are using way too much of your internet.
Hotel just like
booted.
No.
Chaffee said Dark Side of the Ring. I've always seen like those pop up, but I've just never watched them.
They're very good. They're more theatrical. So they're very I'd call them captivating, but like almost infamous. They're about infamous stories. I mean, that's why it's called Dark Side of the Ring. They are funny. There are some hilarious ones, man. And they're like crazy ones. There's some that you're like, what the like there's this one of this wrestling promoter. I forget what it's called. It's like the USWA or some wrestling promoter in the 80s that tried to like take on Vince McMahon, but was like into like he also shot porn and was like doing coke and shit. And I think he cut off one of his wrestlers' fingers or something. Like it's insane.
Totally 80s.
Yeah, it's very Springer, but wrestling. Dark Side of the Ring.
Cool. John 32 says E3 is here. If you could only pick one rumor to be true, which would it be? I don't even know what rumors are out there. I asked him, is there like a list of rumors to pick from, or do I just make one up? Because I don't be chasing rumors, so I got nothing.
I mean, you've heard me talk about rumors, and things that have been like
in one and out the other. I try not to.
Things that have been announced but not dated and stuff, right?
It's Nathan. He's back.
Yep.
There we go.
What?
My phone died. Apologies.
Oh, the phone died. Well, the question is, E3 is here. If you could pick one rumor to be true, what would it be?
What are the rumors?
Exactly my question. I'm like, I don't know what rumors there are, so I got
the big rumors, the big Xbox rumors that Doom will be announced.
Oh,
there's Doom. It's like medieval Doom, it's like Year Zero or something. I think it's called. That's the big rumor for Xbox. The big rumor from EA Land is that Dragon Age Dreadwolf will be announced. And it's coming this year, coming soon. Maybe not this year, maybe like January, February, but like coming soon. 2K has a big game to bring. I really want it to be Mafia, but they've got all kinds of shit in the works. It could be Civ, it could be Borderlands, it could be BioShock. They announced that they were working on BioShock years ago. So they're doing something, I think. But who knows what it's going to be. I really wish it was Mafia, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be. Ubisoft's an interesting one. I don't know what, like, they have Far Cry games in the works. We know that. They could announce a new Far Cry. I don't know if they will, but they could. We know that we'll see Assassin's Creed Shadows. We know that they'll probably talk about their live service things. What we don't know is if they have something else to bring. Is there a Rayman? Is there some other game? Is there, any of their other things to do? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Like the Doom thing would be something that I remember hearing that, but completely forgot about it because I'm not playing Doom. Yeah, like I can't think of anything that I've heard where I was like, ooh, that might be something I'm interested in. So most of it I just end up forgetting because it's not something that I'm terribly interested in. So I can't think of any particular rumors.
Capcom Monster Hunter, that's out there. Might see that tomorrow. It's possible.
The rumor I want to be true is that Knights of the Old Republic is indeed not dead.
Oh, that's definitely dead. EA also has Skate, and then aren't they doing the Iron Man game? There's an Iron Man game in the works. I thought it was EA. They're not the Anthem people, but I think it's EA. I think they're doing Iron Man.
Yeah, Anthem was BioWare, so definitely not them.
That's right. Hang on, Iron Man video game. I thought it was EA. Marvel Entertainment and Motive Studio team up for an Iron Man video game. That was some time ago when this was
a long time
unveiled.
ago, I feel like.
So maybe it's time to see it, even if it's not coming out soon. Maybe there's like a teaser, like we typically get a trailer for a game, especially a game of that magnitude. We'll get a teaser a year or two in advance of it actually releasing. So I could see them being like, Jeff Keighley being like, and take a look at the upcoming Iron Man game. And we just get like a brief, even a cinematic of what it could be. Because there's that Black Panther game. We got a cinematic for it, earlier. Was it last year?
Was that last year?
This year.
I think that was this year.
Yeah, I think it's this year. So like something like that for the Iron Man game, I think could be a thing.
Yeah.
Sadly, of all of the things I just read off, the one that I want the most is fucking Wind Waker to be ported to Switch. On the Nintendo front, it could be anything. Metroid Prime is seemingly still out there. There's Zelda ports. They've got a lot of IP that haven't been around for a while. Who knows? There's a Fire Emblem game that seemingly has been done for like a year. The question with Nintendo really is Switch 2. How much do they release ahead of new hardware? When do they talk about new hardware? That sort of thing. But there's a lot of rumors out there.
Is that Blade game rumored to come to PlayStation? Because I'll take that.
I'm sure it will.
Just being on Xbox.
I'm sure it will come. I mean, I think anything Bethesda's going to go multi-platform for sure. So I'm sure Blade will go multi-platform. The question is, do we see Blade? I don't think we see Blade this summer. I think Blade's a ways off. If I had to guess, I don't know. I mean, that'd be my guess.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I think they talked about that sooner than they wanted to.
When did they announce that was a trailer? Was it one of their like direct kind of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're doing it's the Dishonor people. It's Arcane Leon, right?
Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to the other game that they announced last year? With it was like
Indiana?
Down 2, and there was like this giant kind of guy and this lady in a swamp.
Oh, I know you're talking about
south of
south of
that's
something.
Compulsion's game. Yeah, they could talk about that. Sure. I have no idea. I don't know anything about Compulsion because while Xbox closes studios and funds new ones, apparently Compulsion could just sit there for like 7 or 8 years and not do shit. Nobody cares. I don't know.
Was it like the Contrast game? No, they did We Happy Few.
They did
right?
Contrast when the PlayStation 4 launched, and then they did We Happy Few before Xbox bought them. We Happy Few was not great. I think they may have bought them right before We Happy Few came out. And then they haven't done shit since We Happy Few. And as I look up the Blade game, again, it says game is exclusive to Xbox. Yeah, we'll see. I think it was a different time and a different place.
Mm-hmm.
So
are there 2 Black Panther games? I feel like there's one by EA and then there's one by Skydance, right? Okay.
There's multiple Black Panther games in development. Oh, Wolf Among Us is another one that's been floating around. Wolf Among Us 2. And it seems like it's time for that to emerge. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that game was soon.
I don't think that's going to live up to the hype, though.
Definitely not.
Everything.
I think any game like that, when you lose developers, it's like I feel the same way about Fable. Fable will never be what Fable fans want Fable to be. You know why? Because it's not Fable. It's not Lionhead. It's not the same thing. Right? Even if they try to make it the same thing, it's going to be different. And that alone will probably upset people. And I feel the same way about The Wolf Among Us 2. As much as they want to be Telltale, it's not. It's not Telltale people. It's not the same development. It's a different time and place. So I wouldn't be surprised if that bothers some folks. I don't know if Castlevania is a thing that's currently being rumored, but I brought it up last week. I'll bring it up again. Konami seemingly is like all in on games again. They're making Metal Gear and they've made a bunch of other shit. It's time for Castlevania to show something. I'm still shocked that like we have lived in like this Metroidvania renaissance the last 5 or 6 years, and we don't have a Castlevania game. But they did put Castlevania in Dead Cells, right? They got Dead Cells DLC, and I do see that as probably them kind of getting people used to the franchise again. I wouldn't be surprised at all if somebody announced a Castlevania game. But I really want to know.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Devin. The other Ubisoft game I was looking for was Outlaws. They've got that too. So there's Outlaws and Shadows, which we know. We've got Assassin's Creed and Star Wars. They're coming this year. The question is, do they have anything else coming this year? Or Far Cry or Splinter Cell or whatever else they're doing? Is that 2024?
Probably a Rabbids game. It's probably time for a Rabbids game again.
Did they just have one last year?
They had Mario Rabbids 2 last year. I do think it was early last year, and it didn't sell very well. So I think it's too soon for one of those. But they could have a different Rabbit. Like I'm with you, Nathan. I want it to be Rayman. Like that idea of a smaller project, but make it Rayman and put it on everything and sell some copies of something. Like they're not going to do their UbiArt games anymore. But like not every game that they have to do. Well, I say this, and I know it's not the case. I don't want everything they do to be a live service game. It'd be nice if they could make like one small game a year, like just get back to like do that. Because Shadows and Outlaws are going to be huge. Honestly, their show might just be Shadows and Outlaws. I know it won't be, but like that could be the brunt of their show. That could be the big part of their show.
When was the last Ghost Recon game? That's been a while, right?
There is a Ghost Recon in the works. They announced one several years ago. Remember, I brought this up before. Or no, I'm sorry, not Ghost Recon. I'm thinking Splinter Cell. They have a Splinter Cell game in the works. But Ghost Recon, yeah, I don't know about. Was it the one that dropped during the pandemic that was really bad?
Breakpoint was the last one, and it just flopped. Yeah, I don't think it did.
And it's because they were scared because like that got eternally delayed because of the pandemic, because their game was about a game in the pandemic. That's terrible timing.
They had a lot of games about pandemics. Because between that and Division, it's just pandemics everywhere.
It's true. And did you see last week was like Watch Dogs 10th anniversary or something like that?
Yeah.
I posted. Yeah, I was like, damn. Made me kind of want to play Watch Dogs. Maybe I should give that game another try one day. Watch Dogs 2.
It's a fantastic game.
There are several games that, years apart, different time, different place, I've found new liking to. I have no idea if Watch Dogs could be one of those games, but I might try it one more time.
Yeah. The only rumor that I can think of that I would love to just say is true is the oft-rumored Metal Gear Solid remake by Bluepoint. Make that true.
That's happening.
Make that true.
Bloodborne, maybe.
Oh, I don't care about Bloodborne. Hope it never comes. No Bloodborne. No soup for you.
I'm trying to think. I don't know what the other big publishers might have up their sleeve. Square, Atlas has their Metaphor game. They could do Persona. They're working on Persona. I think it's maybe too early, but like maybe they lift the veil on Persona 6. It's possible.
I feel like every year there's some new Persona game that comes out that's a remake of some other
because they've re-released and remastered them, so many of them, yeah. Because we have Persona 5, then Persona 5 Deluxe, and Persona 5 Strikers, and then the Chibi
Golden, Persona 5 Dancing All Night, Persona. Yeah. Like, how many different ways can we spin Persona 5? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, it should be fun. I think this year is going to be better than maybe people think. I've been saying that all year. I still think that. I think by the end of the year, we're going to be like, man, there was a lot of games this year. And I think this little event, this little week that we're about to have, I think it's gonna feel more like the old E3 than we felt in like years. It's not gonna feel the same, but I think it's gonna feel more like that than we've had since 4, 5, 6 years maybe. It's been a while since we've had like an E3 feeling. I think we might get close to that this time, just because it's all gonna be so condensed. It's gonna be like every day we're gonna be waking up to brand new game announcements and new trailers and stuff for a week. That's gonna be exciting again. But I think a lot of it's just gonna be games that have been announced that haven't been dated. I think is a lot of it. We're gonna get games that we knew were in the works, but we either haven't seen them yet or we have no idea when they're releasing, and we're just gonna get new trailers for the release dates.
We shall see. Should be interesting next week.
Should be fun.
All right. We got 2 questions left. Yeah.
That was 2 weeks away.
It's 2 weeks?
No, you're right.
4th?
No, you're right. It's the 7th.
It's next week.
Yeah, it's next week. Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow, you're right.
Say.
It's up on you.
It does. Like, where did May go? It's already June. What happened?
I'm not taking any days off.
I'm not even. I'm taking June 4th off, but that's just for Destiny 2.
Yes. I'm taking all those days off, but I will also be on vacation.
There you go.
Be like, I'm in the Bahamas and will not be looking at video games.
I'm on vacation the week after that. I'll be in Cancun.
We're going to do a podcast after the Xbox show. We will cover the other shows on PSVG that Wednesday. So we'll do Ubisoft and whatever else then. And then I don't expect Nintendo will do anything that week. But whenever Nintendo has their Direct, we'll do a show that day. And that's really our coverage.
Who was we? You and Sean doing the Xbox show?
Probably. Yeah, okay. Just me and Sean. Maybe
so
Josh.
Sweet Hangs.
It's Xbox Empire Edition, yeah.
Isn't that what it always is?
Xbox Chef.
It is awesome. Yeah. I like the Sweet Hangs.
Sweet Hangs. All right, 2 questions left. Stingray X says, this is for you, Down. He says, welcome back to the ponies with your recent purchase. With Astro coming, is there any physical merch you plan on getting for it besides faceplates?
I have no idea. Are they going to make anything?
Who knows?
If they make Astro faceplates, I'm definitely buying them. But when is the next big PlayStation anniversary?
I don't know.
So the 20th anniversary was during PS4, right? So I want to say, what was that, 2017?
I don't know, Nathan.
2016, maybe?
So the 25th anniversary was the 2019. So we're a ways off.
I was hoping that I would love nothing more than to have some sort of like anniversary style plates.
So wait, this would be the 30th anniversary then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
December 3rd? I think it says December 3rd is the 30th anniversary of PlayStation.
So you might
get anything?
December 3rd, 1994, the PlayStation made its global debut. So that would be December 2024.
2024.
Yeah. If they make anniversary plates, I want them. That's like one of the big regrets that I have is I never got that damn 25th anniversary of PlayStation 4. And I really wanted it. I just couldn't afford it at the time. And I would love to doll up my PlayStation 5 Slim in that same style. That'd be great. Physical merch, though, I don't expect to make anything for Astrobot. And I'm not planning on buying anything else unless there's something I'm not thinking about.
Would you get a 30th anniversary controller if they release one?
Yeah. I'll trade my controller in for that controller in a heartbeat.
It'd be like a PS2 controller because the last one they did was like a PS1 controller, right?
Yeah, I would imagine they would still keep with it. Would all be themed after like the original PlayStation, I would imagine.
True.
That's what you're celebrating.
Yep.
And that's my favorite style, the gray with like the pastel color, symbols and stuff like that would be that's the go tier for me.
Hey, did you guys see that the original developer of the PlayStation controller revealed what the symbols meant?
I did not see anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So the triangle was supposed to be like for your directional, like a map type function. The square was supposed to be able to access document type things, or inventories or menus. The X was supposed to be cross. Sorry, whatever. Was supposed to be no or cancel, and then the the circle or whatever you want to call it is supposed to be like the yes kind of buttons.
And that makes sense because a lot of their old
everything is
and using UI was
forward.
circle, circle and X.
Yep.
Which I hate when you emulate today. You're like, oh my god, forgot about this. But
sweet. Final question of the night comes from good old Yarden. He says, has Holst already failed us by not announcing all PlayStation games day and date on PC? Thanks, Yarden. Absolutely not.
No. People want them to do what Xbox has done, but then you look at Xbox, you can be like, why the hell would anybody do that?
Case in point, no, don't do that.
I mean,
Xbox do that.
Proof's in the pudding. You can't say anything different. It's hard to defend. Look at them.
Yeah.
Fucking damn a free fall. Like, why would you do that? If anything, you might think the more prudent thing is to do anything but that. Do the opposite of whatever they're doing. But
just do what Nintendo's doing.
That's essentially what PlayStation is doing.
Exactly what they're doing.
They're actually doing some PC stuff. Like that's Nintendo is super isolated.
Like,
we're not doing any of that.
You come here. You come here. That's it.
An app to buy games on your phone. Fuck that.
However, if you want to talk to your friends, we can do that.
That shit don't work either. Like, like they're in their own little space. It's I don't think this is like a monumentous opinion or anything like that. But I was thinking about it. We talked about last week about like this rumored console, this strategy, this idea, because I don't even think we have no idea if this is even fucking true. Mm-hmm. But this idea that's been bandied around that they would make a console that is like a PC. It's like a PC for your living room, for your TV. It's a PC for console gamers, I guess is the best way of putting it.
I've heard this all before. This was called the Xbox.
So that's actually exactly where I was going to go with that. You do wonder, Xbox got into gaming because the gaming space that was happening on PC was so different than console, and they wanted to bring that to console, so they made a box for it. And they've been true innovators in the space. Everybody has adapted and adopted either similar or like things that Xbox has done. But you look back, I don't speak for other people. I look back on the almost 30 years of this with him, right? And you just wonder, like, with everybody picking and choosing the best parts of them and what they did, what they've given to this industry, is there really a need or a space for them anymore? Because there are multiple consoles that are like PCs for your TV now, and we have a live and we have on, like online multiplayer and stuff. And like, I'm just wondering if like, for all the business stuff, right? For all the marketing and for Don Matrick and all the things that we point to, I wonder if like at the end of the day, how much of that might be the culprit here? Is that like they had an innovative thing that they peddled at the time that got people in, but then as other people adopted that, people just went back to the things that they liked because they started doing the things that Xbox did, and now there's just not a whole lot of interest in having like that third pillar, that third brand, that third console. Like, could that be the issue here? Because Xbox has done all kinds of things. They have bought games, they've bought publishers, they've given games away, they've made subscriptions for games, they've tried to give away entire libraries. Like, they have, at a macro level, since Phil Spencer has taken over, I think Xbox has done everything they can to give anybody that had a question about Xbox a reason to have an Xbox. And the answer is that people haven't. People, and we're talking globally, right? Mm-hmm. Industry-wide. People just aren't. It's like they're just not interested. And not to turn this into another philosophical debate on the future of Xbox, but I'm wondering, there's part of me that goes back to like that handheld idea. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's something there for them there because they can't enter a space and give it something that nobody else is giving it. When you look at like what the Steam Deck has done, when you look at what the Ally does and stuff, like I definitely could see Xbox getting in there and being like, yeah, but this is how it should be. right? Which is kind of what they did with the Xbox. But yeah, just getting back to my original point, I'm sitting and starting to wonder that with Xbox is like they brought the PC to the living room, and then so did everybody else, and now like maybe it's a good time for them to bow out of this a little bit and just make games and services. Out. It's like, yeah, we made our mark here, and you're all better for it. But clearly the market doesn't want us to continue.
I mean, you bought enough different studios to where you kind of have to exist in some shape or form, and maybe it is just as a third party publisher.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. I don't see that as any problem. But like, I kind of do understand. There's a lot of different perspectives, and depending on which shoes you're in, you can see it different ways, right? If I put myself in Sadia's shoes, I do wonder, like, you're like, why are we fighting these things over? Like, we make games and people love games, and we're going to put them on PC, we're going to put them on our console, we're going to put them on their consoles. Like, that's a very Windows, Microsoft way of looking at it. So it's hard to like fight that. And this, we've talked about this over and over. I'm not trying to regurgitate points, but like, we all realize that like, that makes sense for Microsoft, but that does come at the cost of Xbox. It's going to hurt Xbox to do that. But, you can't serve both those masters at the same time, which is what PlayStation is attempting to thread. I think they're doing it a little bit more conservatively. But yeah, I definitely, I was thinking that the other day. I was like, that was their whole pitch, the direct Xbox. Like, that was the whole thing. We're going to bring this to the space. And they did. And now I just don't necessarily know how much there's a demand for that anymore from them.
Yeah. It's the from them part that, like I said last week, like y'all, they stopped catering to the audience that was really about their brand and tried to do what PlayStation did. Like, you shouldn't have did that. Just stick with the stuff that put the butts in the seats for your console. Like, you don't need JRPGs. You don't need Tomb Raider. Like, people were there for the other stuff.
The only downside is that when they did do that and they played that game, right, and I'll just pull like the Tomb Raider example, they got lambasted for that. Like, people hated that. But like, that's what got them there. Like, what got them, like, the 360 generation, they did that shit with Call of Duty, and they did it with Elder Scrolls, and they did it with Grand Theft Auto. If they came out right now and was like, we gave Rockstar $10 billion and GTA 6 is exclusive, people would fucking lose their mind. They'd be so angry. I don't think that would be the same if it was the opposite way around. Again, it's because it's the popularity vote. Like, it's like what is it?
Well, I didn't mean like
history belongs to the victors.
Those things.
Well, that's what you say. Do the things cater to your like they did
cater to your base, like the original base, like not buying Tomb Raider because nobody wanted that. Like I'm saying, like the Halo, the Gears, the stuff like that.
That they did buy a lot of exclusives.
Yeah, so go should have kept with Mass Effect. You know what I'm saying? Keep the Mass Effect stuff, keep the Halos going, keep all of that stuff that you know your audience was there. Basically,
yeah, buy
minus
EA,
the sports part, minus the sports part,
not Bethesda.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think this is going to happen, but yeah.
It's not. It's too late now. It's over.
Nathan, you're here. We're about to leave. I'd love to hear your thoughts. There's been a lot of things said around Xbox lately. How are you feeling? What's your state of the Xbox empire right now? Because I think the state's pretty shit at the moment, to be honest.
It is shaky at best, right? I mean, there's not a lot of great things happening over there with the messaging that they have, the opportunities, and they're always fumbling the ball. It seems to be this, you're making your way down the field, to use an analogy, right? And they're fumbling the ball when they get to the 20-yard line or whatever, and they just can't get it home. But like you said, Donnie, like you think about Xbox when they first came on the scene, they brought the Ethernet port, right? They brought the hard drive, which was the next step in gaming. Then they brought achievements and Xbox Live, and which was the next step in gaming, which is everybody else emulated. But you think about it, what do they need to bring to this space to stay notable, to stay relevant? The only next frontier in my mind is really kind of mastering the cloud frontier and understanding how to really harness that, and probably even just move away from consoles altogether. but they, like you said, they're investing in all of this IP and stuff, and maybe if they decide to make that real push into cloud gaming, then they have that full arsenal of catalog available. But the kind of the tea leaves that we're seeing right now is like they're getting a little scared. They don't want to stay to the course of the original path, which, I mean, honestly, the original Xbox One path with when they announced that's where we're at now. They just announced it too early. They were trying to innovate too soon. They just need to get better with being able to read what the market can bear and showing people what the possibilities are.
The reason, but they continue to do that. The reason that they're always first and they always are too soon on things, they're trying to make up market position. They're trying to be first so they can capture something. But what has turned out over and over and over again is that they take the brunt of being first and then pave the way for everybody else to do it. Mm-hmm. This has happened 3 or 4 times over the last 15 years. So
they spot the hole, they cover it, and everybody else walks over them, right? So
that's the part where I hate saying it because I honestly do not want this to be the case. But I'm starting to come around to the idea that I think it might be best for everybody involved if they just go third party. I think they might have wider adoption. There might be more I was trying to think of the word. There's more like upgrowth for services for like Game Pass and things like that. They might make more money. There's more revenue. But outside of the financial things, it's actually, my point has nothing to do with financials at all. My point just has to do with the gaming industry, putting their arms around and welcoming the Xbox brand. I think if they maybe step out of that, maybe they will have that opportunity. Because right now, I honestly feel like whatever they say or do is just going to be met with criticism.
The reality is, outside of America, nobody likes Xbox. That's just the truth of the matter.
Well, even here, that's not true. In Latin America, it's pretty popular.
Yeah, that's true. They do have their space, and I do wonder if it was just third party, day and date, everything's everywhere, everybody Game Pass for everybody. If they start pitching that, I do think you win people over. They're like, okay, Call of Duty, it's different because we don't hold third parties to that same standard and that same ethos. Like when you're a hardware publisher, we have expectations. The global right? Nobody gives a shit about EA or Ubisoft or nobody thinks of them like that at all. And I think Xbox fits right nicely in right next to them.
I gotta wonder if if Microsoft does go third party and they have Game Pass, are we gonna treat it like we treat Ubisoft Plus and EA Play? Are we just maybe kind of be like,
but I don't think so because they have a lot more shit in it than Ubisoft does.
They do. I've been trying to gauge a lot of my friends who are big on Call of Duty. Are you gonna subscribe to Game Pass for this? I've been trying to find my friends who only really are they play Call of Duty, they're big COD fans. I'm like, okay, will you subscribe to Game Pass for this, or are you still just gonna go out and drop $70?
Yes.
I'm very curious to see how that pans.
They're not gonna be again, but what you're asking is to change behavior. What I'm saying is, if they went third party, they wouldn't have to change behavior. You could subscribe to Game Pass on the console you already have.
Right, I get that. I get.
I think if that was
people who play on PC.
If that was the offer, I actually do think there'd be a lot more adoption then. But the adoption now is, you have to buy a PC or another console to subscribe to this. I don't think a lot of people. Some will do it. A lot of people.
These people that I'm asking all play on PC, so that's why
I got my guy at work. My guy at work, we just hired him. He's been with us for 4 or 5 months. He just plays Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. It's the only game. He has an entire console for one game.
Yeah,
that's the only game he plays. He's had a console for 3 years. Plays one game on it. Whatever newest Call of Duty is out.
I know.
I talked to him about this the other day. I told him about Game Pass and everything, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll probably just do what I'm doing." I didn't even try to talk him off of it. I was like, "Yeah, because why would you? Why would you change? You're not going to change for that, right?" But if Game Pass was he loved the idea of just subscribing. He's like, "Oh, that sounds great. That's a great idea." He's like, "But I'm not going to get a new console and everything just to do that." But if the service was just there instead of buying the game, I wholeheartedly believe he would do that. He'd be like, "Show me how to set this up."
To channel our brother, Delvin, I will say this: if
like it.
I don't want Microsoft to leave the console space, because I think that pushes innovation. That makes PlayStation better and makes Xbox better. I mean, having the competition is good, but I don't want to see it happen. But if it has to happen, I think that's probably the way things are heading, like you said. But as long as I can still use an Xbox controller and they keep making those controllers, that's what I want.
I think that'll happen. And here's the thing. I think they're going to probably do both. Like, I still think they're going to have hardware, but I think it might be like more multiplayer. And that's where that third party, that's where the PC stuff comes in. Like, they could do hardware that's a console. It's a PC with a console-like front end on it, right? And you can buy it if you want it, but they're not trying to sell 100 million of them. And you can play Steam on it if you right. It's like they kind of get out of the console space while still offering some sort of hardware like that. But they're not trying to sell 50 million of them. They'll probably sell 10 million of them, be happy. And just make up the difference by putting their games and services everywhere. I think. Who knows? Maybe they fucking release a handheld and they're back. Maybe we're talking about the state of the Xbox Empire is fucking amazing next gen. They've got a console and a handheld, and it's incredible.
Look, you give a handheld to Gen Z with a sub, then they're good to go, right?
If you're releasing all of your games on all of the other platforms, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So. But likewise, if you're releasing all your games on other platforms, like, you don't have to stop making hardware. You can make it. It doesn't matter. You can pick and choose whatever hardware you want. So, like, if you want a Surface box or a Windows box or an Xbox, whatever they call it, Xbox PC, whatever the hell they end up calling it, you can do that, right? And they could make them every year. They could keep updating them and not, like, you break away. It's not so much the leaving the console space as they're leaving, like, the traditional console practice. They wouldn't develop a console to sell for 7 years. They may be like, look, this is our PC this year, our Xbox TV PC, whatever they're going to call it. And they could upgrade that bitch every year, every other year. And we've revised it. It's got a new GPU, or let you do it. You can actually swap out your own CPU if you want. And here's how. They get back to kind of being more Microsoft, more PC friendly, like PCs are today.
As long as it don't suck the RAM, right?
But you think about, like, the Ally's about to release a revision. That thing just released last year, and comes another one. You could never do that in the PC space, right? That'd be so hard if you came out with, like, a PC space and you're like, we're doubling the RAM this year. That people would get mad. They feel left behind if they just bought one.
You mean in the console space?
I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. What did I say?
I was going to say, you said PC space. I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
Happens.
Definitely no. That's what I'm saying. In the console space, you couldn't get away with that. You're lucky if you get away with that every 4 or 5 years, right? But you could, if they were like, look, this is our box and it's going to run as long as we can support it, and we're just going to have upgrades every so often. Every time AMD upgrades, here's a new one. Buy whichever one you want. Do you want to buy a $1,200 Xbox PC that's fucking melt your face with the ray tracing and everything? You can. Put a 4090 in it. I don't know. Maybe they do something like that.
Yeah. We'll see. We don't know, but we'll see. Because it's Xbox, and what the hell are they doing? We don't know. We'll find out. Just not today.
Yep.
Well, Nathan, thank you for joining us on this very special PSVG show where we couldn't even start the show, but we finally started the show, and now the show's over. So
PSVG perseverance. That's what it was.
Definitely.
But thanks for letting me join, guys. It's always great to chat. It's been too long.
Yeah, man.
It has, definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, please play some video games.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, the edges.